This episode of the Acts of Geekery podcast is brought to you by beautiful Cydonia. Visit the home of the hardest working creatures in the land and all the wonderful tourist attractions it has to offer, from the smoky stacks of Shell Incorporated to the relaxing spas at the bottom of Shy Guy Falls, even through the dark tunnels of Wario Corp mines. Cydonia has everything for visiting tourists and new residents looking to make a fresh start out from under the tyrannical rule of the Mushroom King. Sanctuary available for Goombas and Koopa Troopas on the run. Visit glorious Cydonia today. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to episode 30 of the Acts of Geekery podcast. Wow, 30 episodes.
You made it sound like we were recording and then they're coming back to it.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it just be welcome to instead of welcome back?
I guess. I don't know.
Either way,
Yeah, welcome.
30 episodes.
Well, I'm welcoming them back because they listened to episode 29.
That's true.
And now, 2 weeks later.
And they fell asleep at the end.
Hopefully. I know I almost did, and I was driving at the time.
That's true.
That was very
driving this podcast. Don't make me pull this podcast over.
Well, anyway, I'm Cory.
And I'm Scott.
And we're the Brothers Geek, here to bring you all the geeky things in the world of geekdom. And we apologize for missing last week.
Yeah,
and
life reared its ugly head.
Mm-hmm.
It's much higher level than us. We weren't able to defeat it.
Yeah, we even tried the power of love. It didn't work. That works for every anime.
I mean, we even called on Captain Planet.
Yeah.
We called on Captain Planet, and
Your
he
heart.
didn't help us. Yep.
Yeah.
No, I'm not Heart.
Yes, your heart.
I am not a Native American.
You don't have to be a Native American.
I'm not even like 1/8 Native American.
Well, then we are a very bad Captain Planet team because we're both white boys.
We are not diverse at
Nope.
all. This is not the podcast for diversity.
This is the anti-diversity podcast.
At least the hosts are anti-diversity.
Wait, we're not. We're not anti-diversity. We're just the opposite of diversity.
Which would be anti.
No, anti-diversity makes it sound like we are against
Or
diversity.
a-diversity. Either way, we got a ton of news for you today.
Oh my gosh. We're going to regret
2 weeks.
Missing, yeah,
2
we're going to
weeks.
regret missing 2 weeks in a row.
But you guys
that's for
aren't.
sure.
You're going to get a special, very long episode. So, if you're driving to work or something, drive longer.
Yep, and go ahead and strap in and get ready for the awesome, amazing news.
Welcome to the world of tomorrow!
Why do you always have to say it that way?
Haven't you ever heard of a little thing called showmanship?
It's the news.
The news.
And there is, like we said, a lot of it.
Very much.
And we're going to start out with something actually really cool. And I'm surprised at how much user-created news there is this time.
Yeah, there's
around.
quite a bit. And this one is actually super impressive. Amazing, really.
Yeah.
So there is a gentleman named James Bruton. I can't remember how to say his last name.
Bruton.
But he has a 3D printer, or a couple of them. And if you know anything about 3D printers, they're all about, 2x2x2 size-wise.
Yeah.
Anything you can create on the computer, you can pretty much print up.
Which, by the way, I downloaded, what was it called? It's a 3D imaging program. It's the free one. The one that you had.
Blender?
Blender.
Okay.
And I spent about half an hour moving a cube around and going, I have no idea what I'm doing.
There's some other ones that you can do,
Yeah.
but this guy's really good at it.
Yeah.
So in the past, he has created his own Iron Man armor.
3D printed Iron Man armor.
Full Iron Man armor, every piece 3D printed or created, and fully functional. You can walk around in it and stuff.
awesome.
Super awesome.
Yes.
He has a whole YouTube channel about it. However, right now, he is currently creating a Hulkbuster.
Oh.
Which is, if you know anything about Iron Man comics or have seen the trailer for the new Avengers movie coming out,
You've seen the Hulkbuster.
you have seen the Hulkbuster. It is the big piece of armor that Iron Man gets into, and it goes around him, and it's made to fight the Hulk, basically. Well, he's going in 3D printing his own, and he's building a frame. He builds the frame part out of wood or metal, and then he adds all the outside armor pieces, and it's fully functional, which means it's movable. He can walk around in it.
He's got it
Super
connected.
cool stuff.
It looks like he's got it connected where he can grip the hands and everything.
Yes, the hands are all going to be, and he's got a lot of robotics in it as well, and electronics, so the hands all move on their own. You remember the old claws back in the day where you put your forefingers through the hooks and it was like the Terminator claw or Terminator arm.
And you got to move the fingers.
Same kind of
everything.
movement style that he's doing.
But with a giant Hulk
size hand.
Nice.
The thing's probably going to be about 8-9 feet tall, which is super cool because some of my favorite cosplays are when people take Hulk armor, Mark 1, Mark 2, whatever, and they remake them. I mean, we've been at Comic-Con and seen a couple, and they were just super impressive, super awesome. I'd love to have one, but right now he's doing that. I go to his YouTube channel. I think it's called X Robots. It's what you can search for.
Let's see. Let's find out what the name is.
He is able to, or just James. You just search for James Brutton, Bruton, and subscribe to him. And he's doing all kinds of.
He has 23 videos
so
of
far.
him making this armor, and he's not done yet.
No, it took him I think 80 videos for his last Iron Man one.
Holy crap!
And they're about 30 minutes long a piece.
That is a detailed walkthrough. That is for sure.
Oh yeah, he shows all the different pieces that he created on the computer. He shows kind of like a time lapse of it printing, and then he shows him connecting it and then testing it. So
Apparently, it's Wi-Fi enabled.
yeah,
I have no idea what that means.
I don't know,
but it's exciting.
Jarvis is Wi-Fi enabled.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
There you go.
If he really builds a Jarvis, I will pay this man anything.
I don't think that it'll be you paying. I think it'll be other companies paying.
Oh yeah, the government would be like,
oh, you created an AI? Awesome. Here you go. Here's a bunch of money.
It's really exciting.
Yeah, super cool. Super cool.
So from the best of geek humanity to the
worst
worst of regular humanity.
Regular humanity. And pro.
A fourth grader apparently got suspended for bringing the One Ring to school.
So I have not read this story or anything.
Well, Scott, it's dangerous. Nazgul will come after you. I mean, that's just dangerous for the people in the school.
Cory, did you realize that Lord of the Rings is a book?
What?
And a movie? And
What?
It's not real.
No.
It's not real. It's really good, but it's not real.
I don't believe you.
So why did he really get suspended?
So I think what they were saying is, hold on. I think what happened was the kid was saying that it could actually turn you invisible and was threatening students with it.
Oh, geez. So,
but when Aiden claimed that his ring had magical powers,
You mean Aiden?
Aiden, I call him Aiden. That's fine. That's cool.
No,
Whatever.
It's Aiden.
Had magical powers that could make one of his fellow classmates disappear like Bilbo Baggins, the elementary school officials believed the comment constituted a threat and suspended Aiden.
All right. Elementary school officials in the Kermit Independent School District, you guys are dumbasses.
Yeah.
Seriously. It's not a threat. It's based off a movie. If any of you had half of a brain, you would understand this. So far, this... When I was in elementary school, junior high, and I'm sure you remember this as well, we would run around, cops and robbers and superheroes. Yeah. And I mean,
wait, was this junior high or are you talking elementary school?
Elementary school mostly.
Okay. All right.
I mean, occasionally, why not? But the kid's 9. He's gonna run around and play with fake swords and play with cardboard swords.
Like, I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna cut you.
That's not a weapon. He's not a sociopath.
No,
he's a kid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My kids are going to be doing the same stuff most likely.
Have they really not seen the books or seen the movies or read the books either?
Yeah.
Because if he claims that it can make his fellow classmates disappear, he's just talking like, "Hey, put the ring on, you'll disappear."
Yeah,
it's the
invisible.
One ring.
Yeah, it's not a threat.
Yeah, and so
these guys are idiots. I hope that they get sued.
I do too.
The
father actually has a comment to say about this.
Okay.
He says, "I assure you that my son lacks the magical powers necessary to threaten his friend's existence. If he did, I'm sure he'd bring him right back."
Now, I hate the sue happy world that America lives in, but stuff like this is stupid.
Yeah.
Stuff like this, school districts and things like that, they need to be put in their place. They're there to teach. They're not there to be, moral guardians or whatever you want to call it, moral warriors.
Yeah.
He's a kid, and he brought a One Ring to school.
That's not a big deal, people. Come on.
I could go on and on. I could do a whole podcast just about how ridiculous this kind of crap is. Mm-hmm. I understand no bullying. That's fine. But going, hey, if you put this ring on, it'll make you disappear.
Yeah.
That's not bullying. That's not a threat.
Nope.
That's not a weapon. It's a ring.
Yeah.
And it won't really do that.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're superstitious and really think that magic exists.
Is it a Catholic school?
Kind of, I guess. Possible. Either way.
Well, let's move on then to TV.
Okay. I like TV.
Yes, it's much better than reality. That's for sure.
Sometimes.
We have a leaked script, not in our hands, like we as in the internet,
The world has a leaked script.
of the TNT's
And
Teen
that's
Titans
that has
series.
nothing to do with like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No.
Not TMNT. I can't even do that. Wow.
No, the studio TNT.
Okay.
Their Titan series. They got one of their scripts leaked.
Titans, like the kind that came down from or attacked Olympus. And,
Zeus.
Yeah, from the Hercules movie.
I'm writing that down as a potential clip.
Okay. But you're talking Teen Titans.
Yes,
The
the,
comic book series,
From DC Entertainment.
which has been made into 2 or 3 different TV series so far, animated and stuff.
two.
Two.
Because Young Justice really doesn't count.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a different thing altogether. But the new one is going to focus more on the fact that they are teens, and it's going to be a live action kind of superhero. Well, we have the roster, is what we're bringing up here today.
And now keep in mind, live action for something like the Teen Titans, that's pretty
Bold.
because there are people on the team that do all kinds of crazy powers, and TV does not do good with powers.
Nope.
Because it's expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
Yeah, their movies do good with powers.
Yeah.
But TV usually doesn't. That's why that's our biggest gripe with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the lack of powers. And I know it's because of budgetary reasons, but you know what? I want to see stuff. I want to see powers.
You want to see superpowers. Well, hopefully you'll get more of that in March.
Yeah.
But what we have, we start out with Dick Grayson, a.k.a. Robin, from Batman. During the series premiere and everything, he's still going to be Robin, having just broken away from Batman, because they had a falling out.
Isn't the regular Red Robin in Teen Titans as well?
Yes, in the comic right now, there is a Red Robin, which is a different Robin altogether.
Yes.
But this one is going to be, he's going to work and eventually develop into the mantle of Nightwing.
Okay.
That he gets known as later on. And apparently he's going to set up shop in Boston instead of New York City. Where the Teen Titans...
New York is Gotham, basically.
Yeah. Which I'm fine with, because there's plenty of superheroes in New York. Go somewhere else, please.
Yes.
So joining Dick Grayson on the team is Barbara Gordon.
Which, better known as Oracle, she won't be using that
Nope.
alias, but
She's better known as Batgirl, but
sure. But
she-
she will be in a wheelchair, so in this continuity, maybe she actually did get shot by the Joker,
which would be
paralyzed,
really
which is
cool.
really cool.
Yep. Well, not cool. It's not cool to get shot by the Joker.
No, but it's cool that they would be staying with the story.
So she's going to be Oracle in everything but name. Oracle is the girl who basically she's their tech person. They're Felicity Smoke or they're Caitlin Snow. Any tech savvy girl who sits behind the lines.
or they're Cisco Ramirez.
Cisco Ramirez, yeah. Although he's probably going to join Flash in season 2 as Vibe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. All right, so
Oracle.
Yep, Oracle. Next, we got Raven and Starfire.
Which right there, 2 really bold moves because Raven's powers are all magic.
Yeah.
She casts spells. She casts darkness on things. Like the darkness will be easier for them to do.
Her dad is a Lord of Hell,
Trigun. Yep.
and Starfire is an alien from another planet who flies, and she's orange skin and shoots
energy bolts out of her
Yeah.
hands and has super strength and durability.
Yep.
So that right there is going to be, if they can keep that up, that'd be pretty impressive.
But apparently, Starfire won't appear until the pilot's finale,
Which is
so
fine.
she's going to be kind of the hook to get you into the next one.
Sure.
And then finally, these are new characters for the Teen Titans, Hawk and Dove, which
Yeah.
are a pair of heroes who Hawk is kind of got the aspect of war in him,
Yes.
and then Dove has the aspect of peace.
Yeah, they kind of got their powers from some pair of gods. I can't remember if
That
it was
use them to balance each
Yeah,
other.
it was like Aztec gods or Mayan or
Yeah,
something
I
like
can't-
that. And they got one of them's war, one's peace. And they're kind of the yin and yang of
the DC universe.
Yeah.
And Hawk and Dove are not going to be the original Hawk and Dove, which were both male. It's a male and female team. Hawk is the male,
which is
Dove is the female.
based off of like Justice League.
Yeah, and well, actually, no. You mean the cartoon?
Yeah, cartoon.
No, the cartoon had 2 males.
Which is the one that we watched just a little bit ago that had male and female.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was a cartoon.
Yeah, but it wasn't Justice League.
No, but anyways.
Anyway, that's going to be kind of they're going to have that kind of on again, off again relationship because Hawk is all. I would love to see it if Hawk was the girl.
Oh,
If
she was war.
Yeah, and he was war, and he was peace.
That would be cool.
See,
kind of little role reversal there.
DC, hire me, okay? I'm a good writer, apparently. For this one idea, hire me for a Hawk and Dove comic that lasts like 6 issues and then go away. But yeah, so that's awesome.
So
I'm excited.
There were some people missing from the roster, namely Beastboy and Cyborg, which have been key members of the Teen Titans for a long time.
Including both cartoon series. Beast Boy's kind of like the fan favorite.
He's kind of the glue of the Teen Titans group.
Which is interesting that they didn't put him in there. But they probably didn't put him in there because he's very CG and they want to...
Yeah, there'd be a lot... Because he transforms into animals. That's his power.
Yeah.
And so...
And it's not like, transform him into a gorilla and then we can just get a live gorilla in there. It's like, no, it has to be a green gorilla.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to
everything has to be green because he's always green. So... there's been a little bit of backlash from people like, oh man, you can't have Teen Titans without Beastborg or Beast Boy and Cyborg. Beastborg and Cyboy. Beastborg and Cyboy. But if you look at the comic books, there's been a lot of issues and a lot of series of Teen Titans that don't have Beast Boy or Cyborg because Cyborg is either with the Justice League, Beast Boy hasn't been found yet, or whatever. Yeah. So,
I think that Beast Boy is going to come in season 2 if the series does well. They'll bring him on as a new character because they'll have a bigger budget. And Cyborg won't be in it because he's getting his own solo movie from Warner Brothers. Cool. And they don't want to confuse anything. It's like having 2 people who are playing the Flash. It's really weird.
Yeah. Do we know what network this is going to be on?
TNT. Which is a cable network.
Which we don't have.
Nope.
We'll have to find it.
Yep.
All right. Anyways.
Speaking of DC and departures, we're going to talk about where am I here?
I don't know. Stop ruining the podcast.
I am ruining the podcast. We are going to talk about DC's new lineup for their comic books. In June of 2015, they are going to be
rebooting the reboot.
Yep, rebooting their new 52. It's going to be their new 49, basically. So after their Convergent storyline, they are going to have which I think is the storyline that brings everything from Future's End and Earth 2 and the Justice and the Earth 1 together. And they have that huge Earth 2 war, if you remember.
Yeah.
Like, they were throwing little hints in Future's End about all that.
Right.
So we're going to finally close that 5-year gap. So here are the titles that are remaining from the old New 52.
Which... most of these are not surprising. Some are a little surprising.
Action Comics, not surprising. Aquaman,
not surprising.
Batgirl,
not surprising.
Batman,
not surprising.
Detective
not
Comics,
surprising.
Batman, Superman,
not surprising.
Catwoman,
kind of surprising because her comic wasn't doing very well.
Deathstroke, I didn't even know Deathstroke had a comic.
He didn't. Well, it's ended.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if I don't know why it says it's continuing because he currently doesn't have one.
Yeah, that's weird.
As far as I remember.
The Flash.
Not surprising.
Yeah, Gotham Academy, which is a fairly new one.
New. It's only a couple issues in.
Gotham by Midnight, which I think is a couple issues in. Grayson,
which is pretty new. It's only about 5 issues in.
That's surprising. Green Arrow.
That's not surprising at all, considering Arrow is one of the most popular shows on TV right now.
Which was funny because back when the New 52 started, the Arrow comics sucked.
Yeah.
Like it was doing poorly, and they were talking about canceling it. Instead, they rebooted it with the new flashy Arrow, or the Arrow. Yeah. Green Lantern.
That's pretty much a staple for DC.
That's the only Green Lantern comic, though.
That's unfortunate because
there's no.
I've loved Green Lantern Corps, Green Lantern New Guardians, and Red Lanterns.
Yeah. And
the Sinestro comic right now I think is fantastic. Mm-hmm. And for a while there they were doing Larfleeze.
Oh, sorry, Sinestro's in there too.
Oh, fantastic.
So you're good there. Harley Quinn.
Of course.
Such a good comic.
Yes.
If you guys haven't read Harley Quinn, like if you're new comic readers, Harley Quinn is a good place to start.
It's fun, easy to read.
Mm-hmm.
You know who she is. I mean,
Yep.
you've seen a million cosplays of her. So
Yeah. Justice League, not surprising. Justice League United, not really surprising either. Lobo,
Surprising.
Secret Six, I guess, is a comic that's out.
I have not actually looked at it.
I actually have seen it in the stores, but I just haven't looked at it. The new Suicide Squad, we talked about Sinestro. Superman, Wonder Woman, Teen Titans, and Wonder Woman are all your returning comics.
All right. I've got about 2/3 of those already in my old box.
And here are the new ones.
All
and
right.
this is
Let's see what we got.
this is interesting. Batman Beyond, which is something I might have to pick up because I like the Batman
You
Beyond
can go
storyline.
ahead. I'm not a fan of Batman Beyond. Never have liked it.
Okay, they're going to have a 6-issue limited series for Batmite, which
Whatever
is,
that is.
he's
It looks like some kind of termite.
He is the extra dimensional. He's like Mixel Spitlick for Batman.
So he's a fifth dimensional being.
And he's a super fan of Batman.
Okay.
Like he's Batman's #1 fan. Bizarro is getting a 6-issue limited.
I might have to pick this one up just because I like Bizarro and,
Yeah.
and his relation to Superman.
I'm gonna have to pick up Black Canary, which is a new comic coming out. Constantine the Hellblazer. I'm not sure.
I probably won't pick that one up.
I don't know. Cyborg, not probably gonna pick that up. Sorry. Dark Universe, I'm guessing is like Justice League Dark and all of those, so I might have to take a look at that. The Green Lantern Lost Army. I don't know what that one's
I'll
about.
give it a try.
Yeah. Doomed, which I think is about the Omega Men or the Dark Side and all that. I think. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, we don't know yet because these are just titles.
Of course, we'll have to pick up Earth 2 Society.
Maybe. Unless it's all about the people and not the superheroes, then I'm going to drop it really quick.
Okay, well, I'll still pick
mean,
it up.
No, I mean, it could be one of those things where all the superheroes are on Earth 1 and Earth 2 has to rebuild on its own. I don't really care. If there's no superheroes involved, I don't care.
I don't know. I'd still be interested to see because Earth 2 has had such like a crappy time in the past couple of years with all the things. I'd like to see how they rebuild and what happens and all that. I doubt you'll not see any superheroes. though.
I'm sure, but I'm just saying.
Yep. Dr. Fate. I'm gonna have to pick that one up.
Yep.
Harley Quinn and Power Girl are getting a 6-issue limited.
I'll pick that one up.
Yep. Justice League of America is coming.
Again? Because they canceled it and replaced it with Justice League United.
Justice League 3001, which is the sequel to
so
Justice
far
League
it's okay.
3000.
So far it's pretty fun.
Martian Manhunter.
Definitely getting that one.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pick that one up.
He is one of my favorite DC characters.
Midnighter. Never heard of him. Really.
Hold on. Midnighter.
Oh, this is. Oh, okay. I know who Midnighter is. Go on though.
He's from Stormwatch. So he is basically, pardon my language, a badass Batman. I mean,
He's a better Batman.
He has his superpower is the ability to fight with someone and within a few minutes of fighting them learns their entire fighting style and is able to counter them. I mean, we're talking people like Superman and the Flash. He can end up beating them because he can pick that up and hit him back. He has carbon fiber bones instead of regular bones.
Oh, nice.
He was
Like Kick-Ass.
He was in some kind of kind of like that. But his is more just like plates and stuff. But his entire skeleton was replaced with carbon fiber.
Oh wow!
Which, if you know anything about carbon fiber, it's really strong. Super light, but really strong. And he's just an awesome character. I might have to get that one.
Yeah,
I might have to.
Mystic U, which sounds like a college for spellcasters, which means I'll have to pick it up.
Okay.
Omega Men, which I think actually also deals with Darkseid in that. So, Prez, I don't know what Prez is. Don't really care, I guess.
No.
Red Hood and Arsenal, which is
cool.
replacing Red Hood and the Outlaws.
Which is unfortunate because that means that
Starfire
won't be there because she'll end up she gets her own comic coming up here soon.
Yeah, so we'll just talk about Starfire now. She gets her own comic, new outfit and everything. Makes her
new art.
Yeah, looks a little bit less like. Oh my gosh! I just realized the people who are writing Starfire are the people who write Harley Quinn.
Oh, nice.
So I'm definitely picking that up because they can't do wrong.
Oh, you know what? The art does look alike.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Robin, son of Batman.
Don't care.
Section 8 gets into the 6th.
We say don't care, but it's because it's Damian Wayne, and so far I haven't seen anything about Damian Wayne that actually makes me like him.
Yeah.
Or care about him whatsoever.
And then the last one is We Are Robin, which I think deals with all the different Robins. And yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, DC. Now I'm going to have to spend more money every
exactly.
month.
Let's see. Going down this list, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm going to be broke.
1, 2, 3. You know what? I'm not going to count because I know I'm going to be out of money.
Exactly. There's so many here that I want to pick up. But, I mean, a few of mine are ending or being replaced.
True.
So it's not like...
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here. I've got some that will be ending. And I know that is right on the heels of Marvel. Doing their
they're doing their
new
Secret
lineup
Wars.
or whatever.
And let's talk about a comic coming out from Marvel. I think we have a pretty wide female listener base, so this is good.
Are you calling him fat? How dare you?
No, that's not what I mean at all.
How dare you,
Please
Cory?
don't send your angry emails to datescott@gmail.com.
I still need to get that.
You still need to get that.
email address. It'll be funny.
But Marvel came out on The View, of all places,
Oh.
because that's where you announce stuff now.
That's where you announce girls-related stuff, female-related stuff.
Yeah.
Which just announce it. It doesn't need to be on The View.
Yeah, it doesn't really need to be.
I mean, I don't know.
But with their Secret Wars reboot, they have announced a new comic called A-Force, which is an all-female Avengers team.
Which is awesome.
Yes.
I love female characters in comic books. I think a lot of them are really well written.
Yeah.
And like Medusa, She-Hulk, Captain Marvel,
They're more fun.
Jean Grey as the Phoenix. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy their take on things, And the sucky thing though is do we know who's writing it? Is it a guy?
No, it's being written by Willow G. Wilson and Margaret Bennett.
Okay, great.
Which Willow G. Wilson or G. Willow Wilson did Miss Marvel and X-Men.
Because Batgirl is written by a female, and it's fantastic. However, Batwoman, I think, was written by a male, and it's it's kind of sucky. It has a terrible storyline, and he doesn't really know how to handle female relationships, like that side of things. Because guy doesn't know. Sorry, we don't know. We have no idea.
Exactly. And apparently, the A-Force is an all-female team that will replace the Avengers during the events of the Secret Wars mega
Interesting.
crossover.
Oh, there's Dazzler. Dazzler's on the team.
I know. That's super exciting.
I did not. That's so cool.
The team will consist of She-Hulk,
okay,
Medusa, which is the Inhuman with the impervious hair, Dazzler, Nico Minoru. I don't know who Nico Minoru is. Probably this lady right here.
Yeah, it looks like
she looks like a spellcaster.
Yeah, a magic user.
Yep, and a bunch of others who will kind of probably just be in a rotating roster.
Which is kind of how the Avengers are doing it now. They'll have one issue where it's 5 characters out of the 20 of the Avengers, and then the next issue will be 5 different ones, and sometimes they'll have ones that move between the different ones, which is cool.
The series will also debut a new cosmically powered heroine named Singularity, a pocket universe that gained sentience during the incursion events that led up to
And if
Secret Wars.
if you go back up to see the one, she's the one that looks like stars.
Yeah. Her body looks like you're just looking out into space,
which is cool. That's my favorite. That and there's another on DC side of things in the Teen Titans. They had a girl that was the same kind of thing.
It was she was on
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I'm being terrible, but like that's one of my favorite looks for characters when they're pocket universe stuff like that, or they're all like completely black from head to toe because they're like made out of smoke, or energy of some sort. Is really cool.
So the team will form in Arcadia, and I'm quoting here, and I don't like how they put this, but the feminist paradise region of Battleworld.
Okay.
I would prefer just to say the female-ruled version of Battleworld.
Sure.
And it looks great. I am going to pick this up.
Yep.
I think
I will as well.
Oh, well, if you're going to, I'm not.
Yeah, because you just read the
I just read it off yours. So that we'll just have to decide all that. So yeah, both Marvel and DC coming out. They're diversifying. They're making comics more accessible to all sorts of people.
Whole new series of them coming out. They'll all be, of course, rebooted, and they'll all be at number 1. So if you haven't picked up comics in a while and you want to start again, you can. If you have never touched a comic book in your life and you would like to start reading, this will be a perfect time to in the next couple months, because everything will be starting new.
Yeah.
It's new and fresh from the beginning, from scratch. And they'll usually go over character histories and stuff, as the comics come out.
Yep. Or they'll have it in their little little blurb at the beginning. So we're going to do a couple quick news stories here, Scott. First, Angelina Jolie is being eyed to direct Captain Marvel.
Nope. That's my opinion on it. No, I don't. What else has she directed?
That's what I was going to IMDb to find out.
Because the other option was Joss Whedon being eyed to direct Captain Marvel,
which I like better.
I like that way better
because he does female characters.
Just click on director right there at the top.
I can just click right here. 5 movies.
So she has done Unbroken, which I think won a few awards, but it wasn't very good. In the Land of Blood and Honey.
It looks like she's done a lot of like feely pieces.
Yeah, don't want her.
Okay.
Sorry, so far from what I see from her resume, no thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want her acting in a Marvel movie, and I don't want her directing a Marvel movie. I don't get what the big hubbub is about with Angelina Jolie. I've never thought she was stunning or gorgeous or anything like that. I'm like, meh.
She was, you know what? She was good as Tomb Raider. And even those movies were kind of
bad movies. Yeah. I like Salt.
I haven't seen Salt.
But it was more
her
just...
Wanted was good.
It was okay.
And I like her in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That is an underrated movie, in my opinion.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that is a fun movie.
It is. It's pretty fun.
I
hope they don't. But that was the other point of news is Joss Whedon had rumored to be directing Captain Marvel.
Which would be so cool.
And we know for a fact that Joss can write strong female characters. Buffy.
Yep. Faith.
Well, I'm
Faith
talking.
I'm
just going off the show.
Okay.
Just the show only. But yeah, Buffy's got like 4 female characters
that
that
are
are
all
really strong.
Yep. Dollhouse.
Dollhouse has a whole bunch that are really good.
Firefly.
Tons in Firefly.
Yeah, he's got plenty in Firefly.
Yeah, and so
the only one that doesn't is really like Angel, and that's because that's like a spin-off series.
Well, and it's got Faith in it.
Yeah, it's got Faith, and it's got Cordelia.
And Cordelia.
Yeah.
So
not bad.
Yeah, we know Joss can do it.
Oh yeah.
So
Cabin in the Woods even had a strong female character in it.
True.
She was the one who brought on the apocalypse, but still.
Well, maybe we should count her out.
Yeah, probably.
We don't want a girl that brings on the apocalypse. Come on.
We also have that BattleBots is coming back. Woo! Woo!
So it hasn't been on. It hasn't been on air for over a decade.
BattleBots is a show that kind of went over under a lot of people's radar. Didn't we used to watch it on PBS?
No, it was on. But it was on like a Saturday.
Yeah,
like a Saturday morning.
No, you know what? I'm thinking Robot Wars, which is the British version.
Yeah,
which had not Rimmer, the other guy from
Crichton.
No. Lester from Red Dwarf.
Red Dwarf.
Yes.
Okay.
God, I can't do it today. I can't do it. Just shut it off.
Nope. No, we got a lot to go through. Let's go. All
right. But BattleBots is an awesome show where remote control robots.
It's the American version of Robot Wars. I think it came out after Robot Wars.
I think actually it came out first because it.
Oh, did it?
I don't know.
Either way, so who was you were saying that one of the guys was a
technical advisor?
Yeah.
Bill Nye. Yep, Bill Nye the Science Guy was
technical
a technical advisor
for it, which is cool.
They built robots out of remote control cars and such with weapons on them and put them up against each other in a battle arena that had saw blades that came out of the ground, hammers that came down and smashed them when they got near.
Yep.
And you got to put saw blades and everything on and destroy each other's robots.
Yeah, and 2 competitors that you might have heard of, Adam Savage and Jamie Heineman, which are the hosts of Mythbusters. They both built robots and battled in this series. It's 8. I think the new one that's coming out is 8. They said it was like 8 episodes long, 6 episodes long.
Coming out this summer.
And I think they're probably just testing the waters to see how well. The problem with a show like this, and this is just, I'm just thinking about this, it's expensive. Not the show itself.
The bots.
The bots. And so in order to do this, either ABC has to kick back some money.
Oh, they have cash prizes for champions.
I mean, lots of money.
Yeah.
Because these robots can cost couple $1,000s a piece.
Yeah.
And if they get one round in and get destroyed, you're out.
Yep.
Two or $3,000. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's what ruined it in the first place. It was just too expensive for the competitors to keep coming back, and not a lot of people wanted to put $3,000 down just to lose in the first round.
Yeah, exactly.
Because someone always has to lose. I hate to say it. There's always one loser. They're not going to give prizes out to everyone.
So
this isn't kindergarten.
This isn't no kindergarten.
Yeah.
I show my wife BattleBots because she'd never seen it before, and we're about halfway through like the first round of the episode, or the first of the episode we watched, and she goes, "This is like Big Hero 6," and I'm like, "This is like Big Hero 6."
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yay! I'm
We
okay.
we just need a
now.
giant balloon bag.
I
robot.
want one of them to be like an actual robot with legs. He's gonna get torn up in the first round against these wheeled ones, but I want it to be like an actual robot with legs.
But that is cool.
Yep.
They're going to bring that back. That's exciting.
Rose Byrne is returning as Moira McTaggart for X-Men Apocalypse.
She was the
X-Men, yeah.
She was the liaison between Xavier and his little mutant team and the government.
Yeah.
In the first X-Men, not Days of Future Past, but
First Class. Yep. She's kind of X-Men, or she's kind of Xavier's on-again, off-again girlfriend too.
Yeah.
Type thing.
So that's cool that she's coming back.
And then we have this story of an 11-year-old girl who wants more female superheroes in DC Comics.
So she wrote a letter. Okay, so she got a package of like Justice League little minifigs, and she noticed that there were only 2 female superheroes in it. And there was Supergirl and Wonder Woman, and there was 10 others that were all male.
Yeah.
So she wrote a letter, and she's 11. She wrote a letter to DC saying something like, please do something about this.
Girls read comics too, and they care.
Yeah, and so
it's this long letter. About her watching the Justice League cartoons because her dad watched them with her, and how the strong female characters were, how there were so few of them. But the Justice League actually has really good female characters in it.
Yeah, and so she wrote a letter to DC, and they basically responded and said, we wholeheartedly agree. We are, that's why we have a Wonder Woman movie coming out. We've got a lot more titles that are going to be female-oriented.
And then they come out with their list.
And here on the Acts of Geekery podcast, we completely agree. At least I do. Do you?
I absolutely. No, I think that it should be all male all the time.
Okay, Cory.
No,
Cory, as long as it's on record. It's on record. But we both agree that there should be a lot more female. I would love the ratio to be 50-50. I really do. For every male character, I would love if they had a policy where if they created a new male character, they have to create a new female character, but not just like it's female Batman. Let's make a whole new character and find a good writer for him.
Like, you don't realize how ingrained stuff is into skewed towards the male side. So my wife and we come up with stories together, and we decided, hey, for this story, let's make it to where this city is controlled mainly by females, and the males are kind of in the female role, running from rape gangs and things like that. So I'm sitting there and we're typing.
That's the kind of stories. Wow.
Well, no, just like criminals. There's female criminals.
You could have said like the males are in the female role. They don't work as much. They don't go out and hunt.
I guess I.
And you went right to a rape gang. Wow.
Well, that was the first scene because it's a
you heard it here
story.
first, folks.
Rape gangs.
When Cory goes to jail,
it's going to be a rape gang.
Just stop saying it. Stop saying it.
No. It's a superhero story, and the first scene that we wrote was this guy being chased by a group of girls who were catcalling him.
Okay.
Everything girl criminals. It is so hard. Every time that I would make up a new character that would come on scene, I would have to sit there and be like, oh, I'm starting to write this character as a male already. I need to switch that and make it so that this police officer is a female.
Well, look at it from the comics perspective. When they first came out, it was like the 1940s, and I hate to say it. I mean, no, I don't hate to say it because it's true. It's history, but it was a male-dominated society back then. Women were not seen as equals, which we don't agree with now, obviously.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the comics reflected that kind of stuff. I mean, it was always the girls were always the damsels in distress. They were never saving people. They were always the ones that were being captured. And
it was not.
Yeah, and that's kind of carried over mainly because there's been a lot of awesome characters: Flash, Superman, Batman, all these different characters. And they want to keep them going.
Yeah, Wonder Woman was not set up to be a strong female character.
No,
Wonder Woman was
written. She was written by a guy that was into bondage.
Yeah, and
that's why
wanted somebody to draw a bunch of different. That's why, like the first 30 comics, Wonder Woman gets tied up
in every single one. Yeah,
which they parody in Empowered, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. She's always tied up, and they do it as like a
joke. And
look how dumb comics are that do this kind of stuff. So.
Anyway, rape gangs.
No, not anyway. Speaking of male superheroes.
Yes. We have our first look at the Atom exosuit for Arrow. And I have to say, it looks kind of Ant-Man-y.
So a lot of people are like, everything has to look like Iron Man nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why that's the case, because comics draw superheroes in all spandex all the time. Yeah. Adam doesn't. He has all these crazy stuff, but he has a belt, and everything can be done from the belt. Come on, even the new Batman has like a full-on hard Kevlar suit, so that he can stop bullets because real thin stuff. Because if you look on this exosuit, he's got the panels and stuff that have all the different, I'm sure weapons and devices in them.
Yeah,
but the part of the suit that you can see that's just hugging his skin. Looks like some kind of nanotech mesh or something that would stop bullets. Yeah, and a lot of people don't like the helmet. They don't think that the clear is cool. But you know what? It's going to go black as soon as he starts fighting. It'll go black. Otherwise, everyone would recognize who he is.
Yeah, they'd be, oh, you're that rich guy.
Yeah.
That's. I like it though. I mean,
I think it looks cool.
It does kind of look like he wants to go play Death Ball or Death Roller Derby or something like that.
Yes, Murder Ball.
But it looks pretty cool. I just hope he shrinks.
I don't think you'll see that for a while because his whole persona in the show is he loves like microtechnology, but not to shrink him, he wants to shrink other technologies. So he can fit all these different technologies on his suit, which is cool. But I don't think you'll see him actually shrink for a long time. Maybe a whole season.
That bugs me. But I'm okay.
But Brandon Routh plays a great Ray Palmer.
He's so fun.
So much better Ray Palmer than he was at Superman.
Yes.
So speaking of people that play other characters or want to play other characters.
Tyrese Gibson, we talked about him wanting to play Green Lantern. Well, he's launched his own Twitter and social media campaign to go to DC and say, let me play Jon Stewart.
In 4 days, he posted like 15 or 16 pictures of him as Green Lantern, both photoshopped and custom drawn by fans and stuff. And you know what? I've looked at him, and he looks just like Green Lantern. He looks like Jon Stewart.
Anytime that somebody is that passionate about a role,
give it to him.
Yeah.
They're probably going to do it good.
Because, Thomas Jane, he'd love to play Punisher.
Yeah.
Like, he was really excited for that role when he first got it, and he's the best Punisher I've seen on screen.
I've never seen another Punisher played better.
Yeah.
I really haven't. I don't think they'll get someone, even if people don't like the movie and they thought it bombed, when they make a new one, I think they have to do Thomas Jane.
Please do Thomas Jane.
He's fantastic at it. So Tyrese looks just like Jon Stewart as a Green Lantern with one of the 4 Earth Green Lanterns, and I think he'd play. He seems like a pretty versatile actor.
Yeah.
I've only seen him in
secondary roles.
But they've also been like comedic roles. So I don't know how well he can play a
straight man,
serious person. So he was a Marine or an Army guy in Transformers. All 3 Transformers.
Yeah.
And is still kind of comedic in that.
Yeah, he's still kind of the comedy relief there.
Hopefully he can do something other than a comedic role. And then, because Jon Stewart's not funny.
Yeah.
He's a really serious guy. There's not a lot of comedy that he brings into the universe. So.
Although, I will tell you this, the actor who plays John Diggle on Arrow says that he doesn't know if his character's John Diggle Stewart, but he says it's been talked about, and it is being talked about by the Arrow people.
Interesting.
And he's like, if I knew the answer, I would say I really can't tell you one way or the other. If I knew the answer one way or the other, but I really don't know yet. I've asked them, and they've thrown it out there, but we don't know yet. Which would be really interesting, but would be so complicated.
This is where the problem lies with TV shows and movies. Is you've got two separate universes, and there's a problem with that because now people are going to associate Stephen Amell as Oliver Queen. There will be no other person that can fill that role other than him.
And so if they try and bring him in the movie and they don't get Stephen Amell,
people are not going to like it. They're going to be like, what the heck?
And if they do get Stephen Amell, then the TV studio is going to be like, well, we can't pay him anymore because movies make you feel like you're better than everybody else.
Yeah, and so even The Flash, Barry Allen, the guy that got to play, what's his name?
Grant Gustin.
Grant Gustin. They think that everyone thinks that no one can play him better. I disagree. I think he's an okay Flash, but I don't think he is the Flash.
Really quick, can we talk about the last scene of the latest Flash episode?
Which scene was...
Spoiler alert, everybody. Skip 2 minutes ahead if you don't want to hear this. Actually, maybe about a minute. We're not going to focus too much. Grodd. Seeing Grodd for the first time.
Yes.
Great CG for something like that. I can't wait for it.
Yep.
So, if you're not watching Flash, what is wrong with you?
Go watch it. Go power watch it all.
Oh, so good.
And if you need it, contact us. We have our ways.
Don't do that. Send it to datescott@gmail.com.
I've got it all recorded.
I know.
Yeah, come have date night with us.
Yeah.
I mean, both of us, me and Cory.
Like we have a date night and we're inviting people to that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Come be our third wheel.
All
Fourth
right.
wheel, fifth wheel.
All
Well, up to 7 wheels. I've got 7 seats in the theater, so
Yeah. 7 wheels.
7 wheels.
Okay, that's about a minute. Those were hilarious
Yes.
jokes that you guys missed because you don't like spoilers.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of female roles,
Yes.
going back to that, I'm going to skip the Margot Robbie thing for now, unless you know.
Yeah,
You've read all that and everything?
Yeah.
Okay, so Margot Robbie has decided to talk about her Harley Quinn role for Suicide Squad.
We already know that she's playing Harley Quinn. That's a given. Margot Robbie's a beautiful woman.
Yep, and she looks
just like Harley Quinn.
She looks like Harley
She
Quinn.
needs to be whiter, which is funny because she's already pretty white and blonde hair and stuff.
Well, they just need to put makeup on her.
Why I put this down was she knows, and she said this, I know I have to do Harley Quinn right. I have to do it justice. And if I don't, I'm going to get reamed.
Yeah.
I am going to get eaten alive by
the internet.
By the internet and by fans of Harley Quinn, which I don't know of anyone that doesn't like Harley Quinn. Everyone I've talked to, I'm like, do you like Harley Quinn? Oh, yeah, I think she's great. Whether or not they've ever read the comics, they think she's a great character.
She's funny. She's just sweet and misguided.
And a hopeless romantic for the Joker. And so, which is awesome that she is actually paying attention to this. And she doesn't want to put her own spin or her own flair on it. She says she wants to do the accent perfect. So she's been watching the animated series a lot and trying it out, which... Good on you.
Yes,
that's fantastic. If I was an actor and they came and said, "Hey, Scott, you're going to play this role.
You're going to play Harley Quinn."
And you need to. I'd have to practice saying my Mr. J. I'd have to practice it.
You'd be Harvey Quinn
over and over. I'd be Harvey Quinn.
Hey, Mr. J.
Hey, Mr. J.
You know what? Even if they didn't approach you for the role, you'd watch that over and over.
Yeah, sure,
just cause.
Sure. But that's why I put that on there because I think that's awesome that she's actually getting into the role, into the persona of Harley Quinn.
I would like to bring something up here.
Yes.
Back in the day, there were a couple actors who were like, "Yeah, I love this role. I love the comics and everything," and they got the full support of the fans and everything like that. And their movies did well because they had the support of the fans. Nowadays,
examples?
Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds was an example,
right?
And not Green Lantern. Green Lantern did terribly, but people saw Origins, even though it was crap. They went and saw it, and they were like, "Oh, Ryan Reynolds is the greatest Deadpool. He knows the source material and all that, and he loves it and everything."
Well, Hugh Jackman's another one too. He has really gotten into the Wolverine role.
Yeah, I think that kind of developed throughout his career, though, rather than.
But he hasn't ever come out and hasn't pulled a Red Skull.
Yeah, that's true. He hasn't pulled a Hugo Weaving.
He hasn't pulled a Magneto.
Now here's
talks about not wanting to do the roles anymore.
Here's my problem though: is it seems like every actor these days talks about how much they love the comic and how much they love the character. It kind of feels like they're just doing that so they get the fans behind them.
Probably.
Yeah. So I mean, Margot Robbie does not strike me as the type of person who, like, she's going about this the right way. She's not saying, "Oh, I loved Harley Quinn as a kid growing up" and everything like that. She's going, "I want to do it justice. I'm going through and I'm reading this stuff so that I can be the Harley Quinn that the fans want me to be, rather than being like, "Oh yeah, I read comics as a kid."
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
I completely see where you're coming from. I do.
I'm a little wary whenever an actor or an actress says something, because I'm like, I don't know if you're lying or not.
Yeah.
Not sure if you're sincere or just lying to me.
Yeah. Skeptical Fry.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's why I put it on there, because she has come out and said, I have been picked for this role. I want to do it justice. So here's what I'm doing to do it justice. I'm watching all these different stuff about it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why I put that on there. That was just, and I think she'll do it good. Because from what I've seen of her acting ability, she's actually a pretty good actress.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in too much. She's in a new movie with Will Smith coming up called Focus, which I'm like, wait, Will Smith and Margot Robbie in the movie together? Is this just the Suicide Squad movie disguised as another movie?
Yeah, no kidding.
We are way late on this news story, but we thought we'd bring it up anyway for those of you who haven't heard about it. More strong female character news. The Ghostbusters reboot will be an all-female cast.
It's cool.
Yeah, great.
How many movies are there that are like all-female casts?
Not many.
Not many. Mm-mm. I can't even think of any off the top of my head.
Yeah. Bridesmaids.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Bridesmaids.
Yeah, Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy will be the two title characters.
Mm-hmm.
With
which one's going to be the Bill Murray of the group?
It's got to be Melissa McCarthy.
You think so?
Yeah, I think Kristen Wiig's the Dan Aykroyd character.
The Dan Aykroyd, or is she the Egon Spengler?
The Harold Ramis?
No, Egon Spengler.
Well, that's the actor who plays it. No, I think that goes to Leslie Jones.
Okay.
This lady over here on the right. And so Leslie Jones and Kate McKinnon are also in negotiations to join. They're both Saturday Night Live characters.
Maybe is Leslie Jones the one on the left? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Anyway,
it's exciting. Whatever it is.
One of them's the black one that
obviously
in the original Ghostbusters, the one that no one ever remembers anything about him or
it's because they tried to cut him out of the movie because it wasn't Eddie Murphy.
Yeah,
Eddie Murphy dropped out of it for some reason or another.
Which I'm glad we would have we'd have Eddie Murphy in the Ghostbusters. I don't think it would have worked very well.
No, back then he was good.
Okay.
Back in the 70s, he was funny.
All right, I'll take your word for
it. With him and his Saturday Night Live stuff, he's super hilarious.
All I can remember is like Nutty Professor and stuff.
And
Dr. Dolittle.
That's when he got kids, and he decided that he wanted to have movies that his kids could watch him in. And then he stopped.
He sucked.
He stopped swearing. He stopped doing all that stuff, and it's just like,
stop being a normal human.
I don't care about you anymore, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. Adam Sandler's kind of gone the same route.
Oh my gosh, he's doing nothing but family stories.
Yeah,
he used to make jokes about Playboys and old women and things like that.
And he keeps roping what's her name in? Halle Berry.
Drew Barrymore.
Halle Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore.
Halle Barrymore.
Halle Barrymore. Sure, why not? That works. Do you want to talk about this Jason Momoa article?
Yeah, so this is kind of along the same line of Margot Robbie. He's not really saying that he needs to do the character justice. I think he just is happy that he gets to play Aquaman. And Aquaman in the comics is a white dude. He shouldn't be. Any culture that lives on an island or lives really close to the ocean and stuff
are all tan.
They're all really tan, darker skinned, and not really dark or anything, but like think of Hawaii.
Yeah.
A bunch of surfer dudes.
Where Jason Momoa is from.
It's where he's from. And he's really happy that they're mixing up that diversity.
Yeah.
And which also brings me to another point I wanted to bring up. So Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. So I saw some pictures of her as Wonder Woman, and someone brought up a really good point in one of the comments, and I can't remember the guy's name or anything, but he was like, as much as people like Gina Carano and a couple other women for the role of Wonder Woman, the problem is they're too white.
Okay.
So Wonder Woman is kind of like almost royalty style thing,
which would mean
she's exotic type of a deal, but not. She's not Spanish or anything like that,
exactly.
but she is not American.
She's exotic.
She's not a white American or European, and so Gal Gadot actually fits that part of it pretty well. And which I was like, that's a really good point. And this kind of goes along. Same thing with Jason Momoa.
You mean that's all I had to say to get you on board with Gal Gadot?
I am holding back my judgment from here on out. And you can hold me to it because I will see if she sucks at the character, then she sucks, and there's no way around it. But if she plays a character justice, even though she may not look the part exactly, I mean, her face she's pretty. True. Don't get me wrong, but for me, it's more of a Wonder Woman should look like she could break you in half. I mean, without even trying.
So you want Dolph Lundgren in a wig? I must break you.
No, I don't want anything to do with that. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Blech.
So I'm reading this article. We're talking here. We talked about Joss Whedon possibly directing Miss Marvel.
Yes.
Captain Marvel.
Yes.
And you also put down in this article, or it says at the top of this article, that he also is maybe directing a female Batman movie.
Yep. And that is not Batgirl or Batwoman. That is a turn of the century after Batman retires, a woman picks up the mantle. So
read that I just wrote.
I know there's nothing official about it, but
yeah,
he
this
wants
is
to
just
do it.
his idea of like, this is what I would want to do. That would be cool.
Yes. But I mainly put it in there because he might be doing Captain Marvel.
Which would be better than Angelina Jolie.
Yes, please. No Angelina Jolie.
Tim Burton says he doesn't like superhero movies, so I say I don't like Tim Burton.
Yeah. And I knew you would look at that and go, "Urgh."
That's just because you directed a few. Sorry. Sorry.
So he doesn't like them because they're not lighthearted enough. Which I look at Tim Burton and I go, look at your stuff that you have done. You've got Edward Scissorhands. That's a depressing movie. The Demon on Barber Street. That's a depressing movie and kind of a horrible movie. A Nightmare Before Christmas. That's dark. That is really dark.
Yeah.
Kind of gruesome, and he just doesn't. He says he doesn't like superhero movies because they're not lighthearted enough. And he said, when I did Batman and Robin, that was really kind of dark and gritty. Well, back in the day it was, but now that's nothing. I mean, we've got Nolan Batman. Nolan Batman is way darker than anything that Tim Burton's done. But you know what? If he wants to run his mouth like that and get on the same bandwagon of I don't like them, because there's been a couple other directors and actors that say they don't like them. They're the worst thing they've ever done.
Or they're just
Idris Elba, we're looking at you.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So,
all right,
whatever. We end that. Don't care about Tim Burton anymore.
Nope. Sorry. That I don't know what it is, but when people come out and say something like that, it doesn't make you cooler.
No.
It doesn't make you more.
It makes you
desirable as a fan. Or from a fan's point of view, it makes you dumb, and it makes me not want to listen to you anymore,
or watch your movies or support you. Yeah. So yeah.
So we're going to talk about the alternate ending for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Did you read this?
A little bit. Yeah.
Okay. So apparently, in that final montage with "Ain't No Mountain High Enough" playing in the background, which is technically on Awesome Mix 1, even though they put it on Awesome Mix 2. Sorry. They were going to have extra little montage sequences showing the Collector, Nebula, and Peter Quill's grandpa.
Yes.
Just shots of that and everything, and they decided to cut those. And they cut the Nebula and Collectors because they decided that they were kind of the bad guys of the movie. Yeah. And they wanted it to be that feel-good ending to it.
Yep.
And then they cut the Grandpa Quill scenes because he was in makeup.
Well,
and they were old people makeup, and they were afraid that people wouldn't recognize it.
And here's why that's dumb. Because, James Gunn, you're a director. You should be smart enough to know that all you had to do to get people to know, oh, that's his grandpa, is have him, if he's sad and he's sitting in a chair drinking scotch or something, and he looks over and just kind of picks up a picture of young Quill. Derp.
And also, it was a pretty sad moment. It was Grandpa Quill, and he has
geez.
this photograph of Meredith and Peter as a little boy, and he looks up at the stars, and we go up to the stars, and it was really sweet. It means that he must have seen Quill getting abducted at the end of the day and is still waiting for him to return, but it was freaking sad, so we took it out.
And I hope that they get added into like a director's cut or something.
Or
However,
we
I've
just
already
see
bought
the
it,
scene.
so
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah. That means you have to buy it again.
No.
Why don't you tell me about this next news story?
So
Scott?
another movie that I have to buy again.
Yeah.
Or for the first time, I should say, because
For the very first
I've
time.
never actually purchased this movie. I've only rented it, and this was like back in VHS days.
Which, I'm sorry, the original movie of this sucks.
no, it's actually pretty good.
No, it sucks.
Go rewatch it now. Go rewatch it.
I will,
It's
and I
actually
will tell you
fairly
it
good.
sucks.
For its time, it was pretty good. We're talking about Stargate, the movie,
Yes.
not the TV show.
The TV show is fantastic.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
But apparently Warner Brothers and MGM are going to develop a new Stargate trilogy with director Roland Emmerich.
Which is he's a sci-fi director. He's done a lot of sci-fi stuff. And producer Dean Devlin. I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
I don't know why
neither
they
do I.
added. Who cares why they added
The
him?
writers that they're getting are the writers who are working on Independence Day 2 with Emmerich.
Yeah, Emmerich did Independence Day, if you remember that one.
So is Independence Day 2?
Where they took down a whole race of aliens with a computer virus
Yep.
from a 1996 Mac. Yeah. Right.
Is Independence Day 2 called Independence Days?
Independence Day 2, Independence Harder. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. The independencing.
Independencing.
But there's plans on doing a trilogy remake, which I think would be cool. Really cool.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I
need
love
to go
I love
through-
Stargate, and I really hope that they continue with it, because they cut Stargate Universe really short, and I very much enjoyed that show. But
Yeah. I did not see this story at all, Scott. You put this
I
on
can't
here.
remember it.
Oh my
I
gosh.
thought you did it.
No. Guillermo del Toro has apparently revealed the Justice League Dark character lineup for the movie.
For the movie? Yeah, that's right, the movie. But you're gonna get the following people: John Constantine, of
Awesome.
course,
Yeah.
obviously, but awesome. Zatanna,
Of course, again.
which is of course an awesome. Boston Brand,
Or Deadman,
also known as Deadman.
who can possess people's bodies and
Yep.
everything. And Jason Blood.
I do not know who Jason Blood is.
Don't know who
but
Jason
apparently
Blood
he's
is.
pretty big in the comics. So not like big.
Not like big. Yeah, more like just there.
He's pretty popular, pretty common in the comics. A lot of people didn't like this layout. They were like, "Oh, no Swamp Thing,
No
no
Spectre.
Spectre." Well, unfortunately, those two guys are super powerful in
Yeah.
the comics. I mean, Swamp Thing is pretty much the embodiment of all living plant life and creatures on the planet.
Yeah.
So he's really powerful. It's kind of hard to write for a character like that. And the Spectre is basically the wrath of God.
Yeah, the wrath of
I
God.
mean, he has pretty much as much power as he needs to do anything he wants. He's one of those characters in the comics where if he can't really be beaten.
Yeah.
People fight him and they go up against him, and he kind of just is like, I tire of this, and he leaves. He never actually gets defeated. He just is like, nah, done.
See
Because
ya.
he can't. I mean,
Yeah.
you
No,
know,
yeah. So
he really
it's good that
can't,
they don't
so-
have those two characters.
Right.
Now, something I have mixed feelings about this next story.
Okay.
The Legend of Zelda is going to have a live-action series developed by Netflix.
Which right there means I'm happy about it, because Netflix so far can do no wrong. Other than
Netflix has described the series as Game of Thrones for the family audience.
so it's Rain.
Yes.
There's that TV show already out called
Yes.
Rain.
Except for it'll have more fantasy fighting in it.
Okay. Now, why are you mixed on? I mean, the
So-
games you like Legend of Zelda. I remember you
do.
playing
Oh, so-
Majora's
so-
Mask
yes.
for hours and hours on end.
So I love Legend of Zelda, and I love everything about these games.
Right.
I don't know. It's the live action element that I don't know about. I would love to see a CG or a cartoon. I would love to see. You know what? This is gonna be weird for me to say. I would love to see an anime style cartoon for Legend of Zelda. rather. I mean, I think live action is going to look a little weird and be a little weird comparatively, because Zelda has never had a live action incarnation. It's like saying, hey, we're making a live action Mario movie. How well did that go?
But it was also made in the late 80s.
True.
So
True, but do you
not,
really think that
not
they
much
can
that
make...
came out of the 80s was a good thing?
Yeah. Do you really think that they could make...
Except for me.
Back to the Future, Scott.
And me.
And Transformers.
I was out of the 80s.
I know.
Came out of the 80s.
I'm focusing on really good things here. But do you really think that if Netflix came out and said, "Hey, we're making a live action Mario Brothers series," that you would be excited for it these days?
Yes.
Live action?
I do think they could do it right. I really do.
Okay.
I really do.
All right.
So far, they haven't been able to prove me wrong.
I will reserve judgment.
Now, there's nothing inherently complicated about making a live action version of Zelda.
There's a lot of fantasy creatures that you're gonna have to CG.
But that's in everything pretty much.
Yeah, but it's TV CG.
But I'm talking Netflix doesn't have a TV budget.
That's true. Netflix has a Netflix budget.
Yeah, and look at House of Cards had like a...
Do they have
like
golems and...
No, but they had like a $20 million budget.
Oh, okay.
That's more than most
I really
TV
wish they would have
shows.
spent that on some fantasy creatures. Like, they're sitting there in the set and all of a sudden a dragon appears.
This is why I
that
think
works
Daredevil
for-
coming out on Netflix
Yes.
is going to be awesome.
Yes,
because they have a pretty massive budget. They've got a lot of money, and so there's nothing inherently complicated about it. I mean, tall ears, long ears for Zelda, shorter ears for Link.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really hard to do. Lord of the Rings did it all the time.
That's true. But
So-
that's not what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned-
Lindsay Sterling,
Actually, she did make a good Link.
right?
But she's... See,
And that doesn't
okay,
even have...
yes.
That's got YouTube production values.
that's true.
Which is not even that great.
That's true. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the Goron and the water creatures and
Why can't
Ganondorf.
Why can't the Goron be... And hear me out.
Okay.
So find actors that are big, like not fat, but just big, bulky people, and make them look kind of rocky. Why can't the Goron be that?
Sure.
And
That'd
they've just been exaggerated in the game, you know, type of a deal. And what was the other one you said?
The water creatures. I can't remember. The Zoran?
But
Zora?
the Zoran could just be blue-skinned people.
Blue skin. Oh, I guess they did do really good with Hellboy with their
Yeah, look at Abe Sapien.
Sapien.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay. You're convincing me on this.
I don't think that.
Yeah, no,
I don't
you're-
think that it's
yeah.
a bad thing. Yeah. So I don't think
All right.
so.
Perfect. Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome, Corey.
Some bad news.
Uh-oh.
Some news we're not excited about. Apparently, Lionsgate wants to do more Hunger Games movies.
Yeah.
Prequels and spin-offs
Now,
and sequels, actually. to the
we
end of the
both
Hunger
read the
Games.
books.
Uh-huh.
I got halfway through the third book and I got bored of it, which to me it wasn't that great of a book. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't think it was. The first two books, I was like, pick them up, couldn't put them down, 4 a.m. in the morning till I finished them type of deal. And, you know, late to work the next day because they were that good.
Yeah.
But I don't think the movies were great. They were okay. You know, we saw the recent Mockingjay one. It was all right.
Yeah.
But they're already milking it by making 2 movies out of Mockingjay. So
I'm not looking forward to if they decide to do spin-offs or sequels or prequels.
Now, prequel idea for them. 75 years in the future or in the past.
Okay.
From the
I was going to say,
Hunger
that's a
Games.
weird prequel, Scott.
75 years in the past from Hunger Games. We get to see the fall of America and the giant war that happened before all the districts were built.
I would be okay with that.
You get to, and it's obviously people that we don't know. I mean, President Snow won't be there.
Yeah,
even,
exactly.
You know, because he's old, but he's not
That old.
He's not 110 in the movie. You know, so that would be kind of cool.
I would watch that.
I might watch a sequel, but not. It's going to have to be like 50 years in the future sequel.
Like what's happened in 50 years.
What happened?
I don't even think I would want to watch that.
Did all the districts fall apart? I would rather read a book about it, to be honest, because you could put way more detail into it.
Suzanne Collins, why don't you write a book, and then we'll be okay with the movie.
Write a prequel and a sequel. I'd read them both. I'd buy them both and support her.
Or
Because
did you only have one idea?
if because
I'm calling you out.
if because of the sequel, and the reason why I said it has to be pretty far in the future is because we have other shows out that are kind of post-apocalyptic TV series, and they all kind of do the same thing.
Yep.
Humanity's falling apart, and it's just a bunch of drama and
It's a bunch of teen
rogues
kids running
and-
around.
Yeah. Not even that. I'm just talking like Revolution, where all the power's out. They don't have power anymore.
Revolution,
and-
The 100, Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a dime a dozen
and
apocalyptic shows,
and they
out
all
there
have
right now.
kind of the same themes, and they're kind of shot the same cinematography.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I hope they don't. It's just a money grab. I mean, geez, even Harry Potter did it.
Yeah.
You know, they did it with they're splitting up the last book, and
I didn't feel like the last two movies though were stretched out.
and okay.
That's the thing is, like, for The Hobbit, I kind of felt like they were a little stretched out.
Okay.
I'm sure if I would have saw Twilight, I would have thought it was stretched out.
Let's talk about a show that's we're kind of half hoping that it gets stretched out and picked up for another season.
Yep,
because as of right now, it is not.
Nope. NBC has released their their fall lineup for the next season, and Constantine is not on that list.
Unfortunate.
Yes.
And we're both kind of split on this, actually.
Really? You don't? Oh, that's right. You don't like it that much.
I don't really care for it that much. I thought I
think
would.
It's great.
I thought I would like it a lot more than I did, and I really don't.
Honestly, I think it's better done than Gotham is. Like, if I had to pick between Gotham and Constantine, I would probably pick Constantine.
Really? You put it at the bottom of your
I know,
your
and
TV list.
That's the thing is, since then I've watched more episodes. They've been picking up a whole lot.
okay.
They really get into the characters in Constantine a lot more. They do a lot more interesting kind of stuff with it. Gotham is a police procedural. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is.
It is, and I don't really want to watch CSI Gotham.
Yeah, I can totally see where you're coming from there, because Gotham, both shows, and this is how I rate TV shows are how intently I watch them. I guess. So Flash and Arrow, I'm like edge of my seat,
Right there.
watching every little detail.
Yep.
Want to know everything that's going on.
Our commentary,
You know,
on
I
Arrow
shush people
Yeah.
when they start talking, type of a thing, and that's I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just like I'm really into this. But when it comes to Gotham and Constantine,
Yep.
like I'm like playing on the phone and I'm kind of just
Oh.
ignoring it. I'm like,
what
what happened there?
Oh,
yeah,
okay, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So
Yep. And that's the thing is, when you can say what happened and somebody can explain it to you and you don't need to rewind it, that's kind of a bad show.
yeah, at least in my book. And so it's not on the second list, but there
NBC
are rumors,
Yep.
and this is just rumor or conjecture, whatever you want to call it.
They're talking about moving it to another network. They're shopping it
Probably a
around,
cable network.
Yep.
Probably one of their cable networks that they own. I'm sure they own a bunch, but,
which will be great.
Yeah.
And then we've got one more news story for you. That's just kind of a quickie.
Kind of weird.
A Marvel superfan has decided to chop off part of his nose and get tattoos to look like the Red Skull.
Oh no, he didn't just decide. He's already done it.
Oh, wow.
It is done. Have you ever seen pictures? You saw pictures.
Yes,
of
I
this
did
guy.
see pictures of this guy.
So
but yeah.
he's in South America somewhere.
Uh-huh.
He really loves Marvel. So if you say I love Marvel, guess what? You don't love it as much as this guy does.
Yep.
Because he has literally had the front of his nose cut off, so it
Yes.
looks kind of like the Red Skull. He has had red tattoos put on his
Red
face
and kind of black sunken ones, too.
to make it look like the Red Skull. And he has also had other body mods where he has taken plastic pieces to make his cheekbones more pronounced.
Oh, wow.
And like parts of his forehead, to like under the skin. They push it under the skin. They mount it to the bone, and it pushes his skin out.
Yeah. And guess what? He doesn't look anything like Red
No,
Skull.
he doesn't really look like the
No.
Red Skull, but it is creepy.
Yeah, it is very
It
creepy.
is really creepy.
First of all, why would you pick Red Skull, who's a Nazi? Well, I guess he's in South America.
Not
so
only
then-
a Nazi, he's like the Nazi.
he's worse than Hitler. I will. Red Skull, worse than Hitler.
Yes.
Yes.
He makes a fine ale, though.
Yes, he does.
I've got that T-shirt. I've got a T-shirt where it says like Red Skull whiskey or something like that. So not an ale, a whiskey. But a lot of people didn't like that shirt. Not that they told me personally, but on the site I was getting it from, they were like, why would anyone want to wear a Nazi shirt?
Yeah, it's like, even that, people are like, no thanks.
Yeah, I bought it anyway. It was
So-
like, whatever.
Good on you, super fan. You'll never see me doing that.
No.
I will never love Marvel as much as you.
I don't know, Corey. You like DC. You're getting in the bouncing boy.
No, I should just do the full-on blank face like the question.
Just cut your whole face off.
No, just skin grafts over my eyes and over my nostrils and over my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And you'd have to perfect your...
And LASIK on the beard.
You'd have to
'cause
perfect your
question doesn't
voice.
have- Yeah. My, what's his name?
Coombs?
Jeffrey Combs, yeah. My Jeffrey Combs voice.
Yep. So you can look in a warehouse and say, aha, I knew it. There were 24 flavors. That's a conspiracy.
That was a lot of news. Whew. We've
Take
got
a deep breath.
We've got some reviews coming up in just a moment here. And then after that, we'll get into a lot of trailers and videos,
Yeah,
too.
quite a
Because the
bit.
Super Bowl happened.
The superb owl.
But first, let's...
Not the super bowel.
Not...
Wait. Yes, the super bowel.
Super Bowl. Sure, why not?
Either one. Super bowel or superb owl.
Before we get to that, let's talk about some movies we saw, some reviews.
Attention aliens, lunch is now being served in the cafeteria. Please be mindful of the Joes, as they are unusually sloppy.
That's right. Not only do we have Sloppy Joes, we have reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love reviews.
And the reviews are unusually sloppy as well.
They'll be quick, at least.
Yes.
First, we're going to interview the
We're gonna interview the review.
Yep, we're gonna review the interview, which came out on Netflix, and Scott and I sat down and watched it with my wife. Ratings were not very good for this movie.
At least not critic ratings.
Yeah, if you like Pineapple Express, you will like this movie.
Yeah, it's pretty
Definitely.
much Pineapple Express in North Korea.
It's funny. I thought it was funny. I enjoyed it.
I was not. I went into it with a
Low
a hint of low expectations, a hint of skepticism because I'm like, but I figured I probably should see it because there's been all this controversy about it. I might as well find out what the heck is going on.
Yeah,
but you're right. It was actually really funny.
yeah.
A lot more funny than I expected. It was surprisingly funny.
So yeah, I have this new theory, and we keep watching these comedy movies and looking at the ratings on them, and they're always like, 50% critics or 25% critics, 50% users.
yeah,
Like, there doesn't seem to be any good comedy movies coming out.
Right.
And that's because comedy movies are not meant to be good movies. They are meant to be funny. I talked to you about this last night. I think most comedy movies start with one joke that they expand into a whole movie just to fit that joke in.
yeah. I totally agree, actually.
And I think that the reason why critics don't like it is because they're predictable. They find some of the humor crude or not funny. Because critics, when they go in and they look at a movie, they're not looking at the jokes that make them laugh. They're looking at the jokes that make them just sit there and go, that was a stupid joke.
Yeah, they're like what you're trying to say is they're picking the bad stuff out of it.
Yep. And then users, they go off critic reviews and everything, and they get a soured mood from it. Like you. I'm sorry to say this, Scott, but you look at Rotten Tomatoes, and all of a sudden you're changed on what you want to see. We were supposed to see Seventh Son and Jupiter Ascending this week, and both of those movies got terrible reviews from critics and users, and suddenly you didn't want to see either of them.
Now, I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to see them because I do want to see them. It's I don't want to spend money to see them.
Okay,
that's where I draw the line. If it looks absolutely terrible, I don't want to waste the $10 for a ticket.
Yeah,
I really don't. It's plus popcorn and stuff,
Yep.
because it's not cheap,
No.
and I would rather go see something that I'm going to go, I paid for this, and you know what? I thought it was a good purchase. It was a good purchase, and that's more just me being a cheapskate than anything else.
Yeah.
Because I've seen I like a lot of movies that critics hate. I love Ghost Rider.
Yep. You
Absolutely
love Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
I think Watchmen didn't get very good reviews.
Yeah, I love Watchmen. Oh,
Yeah.
it's fantastic. But critics don't like it, and I'm not going to look at them and say, but I went and saw them anyways because, superhero movies and
Yeah.
gave them a chance. However, I'm glad we didn't see
Seventh Son?
And,
Yeah, my wife went and saw it yesterday, which would be a Saturday when we're recording.
Yep.
And she said it was completely terrible. It was awful and had no redeeming qualities to it at all.
And no offense to Corey's wife, but she likes some pretty weird movies sometimes.
Including movies that are bad.
Yeah.
They're so bad they're good.
And this one was
I enjoy that
so
too.
bad it's bad, apparently.
Because she's like, it wasn't even like Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, where it was bad, but it was fun bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Instead of Sinbad, fun bad.
Yeah, so that's our Seventh Son review.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't see it. I will probably wait until Seventh Son and Jupiter Ascending come out on DVD or Redbox or something.
Or if we have a slow week.
Yeah, and we'll go see them.
Maybe for Jupiter Ascending. I think we should wait for Seventh Son.
Yeah, that one actually got better reviews.
and
I don't
we
really...
actually had a user comment on our page, Anthony. He said that it was an interesting mixture of sci-fi plots.
Yeah.
So thank you, Anthony, for that.
I guess we might have to go see it on this recommendation.
Yep.
So.
So the interview.
The interview, really funny. The way I judge comedy movies are, did they make me laugh?
Yep.
And not just once or twice. I mean, like consistently.
Yeah.
And yes, it did.
It made.
And I was very amused by most of it.
Yep. So I'll give it a 3.5.
Yeah, I'm right there. Exact
'Cause-
same number.
I'm sorry, even though I just said that comedy movies have to have they have to have a different rating system. It's a 5 out of 5 for a comedy geek card for me. But if it's just regular, like, was it a good plot, was it engaging and everything like that, it's probably 3 out of 5. It still made me laugh, and it made me forget about life for a while.
Now, the next movie we're going to review,
yes,
actually made me laugh way more than the interview did.
90% of the time, my wife was laughing the entire movie.
I
don't know if you heard her.
I heard.
Okay,
So instead I heard that. I heard you. I heard me.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't hear the rest of the audience.
I heard a few chuckles.
I heard a
from
few,
people,
but
yeah.
it wasn't as much as I expected. Maybe we just have a different sense of humor than most people.
Yep. So instead of seeing Jupiter Ascending or Seventh Son, we actually saw Spongebob, a sponge out of water.
And you may say, well, that's not a geeky movie. Well, however, it's animated.
Yep.
We love animated movies.
Yep.
It's got superhero references in it.
Yes.
So
It's got superhero voices in it. Clancy Brown is the voice of Lex Luthor in Justice League, and he's Mr. Krabs.
And it has, it's one of those cartoons where it's almost more adult oriented. And I'm not talking like dirty jokes. I'm just saying there's a lot of subtle stuff that that a kid wouldn't catch.
Autopirate.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
no
come
kid
on.
would know what autopirate is.
Yeah.
Like, what's that referring to? It was fun, though. And like you said, it had a lot more cartoon in it than we were expecting.
Well, because the trailer only shows the CG parts.
Yep, and the live action CG combo thing. But most of the movie is the animated side.
Yeah,
and then like the last 20 minutes they go into the real world and everything.
And it was funny.
Oh my gosh.
I had a lot of fun watching it.
90% of the time I was laughing. My wife was laughing 100% of the time, just because like she grew up watching SpongeBob too.
And we didn't.
Yeah.
Because it was on like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network and stuff.
And we
didn't have cable growing
cable.
up. And we still don't. But I don't know. I've watched some stuff. I've watched it a few times at friends' house and things like that. And I thought it was funny, but this was really funny.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I was very surprised. I would probably give it 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. 4 out of 5.
Yeah, go see it. I think it's a lot of fun. A lot of other people liked it too, which is good. So we're not weird oddballs out, you know?
Yeah, it's like got 70% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
So we're not just weird geek guys going to see a kids movie.
Well, we are. But,
yeah, we are, but that's fine.
But that's okay.
You know what? Embrace it, Scott.
Yep.
Well, that's what we have for reviews. Quick reviews today. Very quick reviews.
There's not really much to say about comedy movies.
Not really.
Did it make you laugh? Yep. A lot. Okay,
Perfect.
great,
All right, then.
good.
Move on.
Cool.
So, yeah,
Next.
let's move on. Trailers and videos.
Danger looms in your future.
We must be very cautious.
You listen to a cookie?
Evening, Chan. Never mock the cookie.
No, I agree. Did that pick up?
Did you agree with me?
Did I agree with you?
Oh, surprise, surprise. Corey agrees with me at least once.
We are just a terrible podcast if we agree with each other all the time.
I know, right? We need to get someone on here who's controversial.
Yeah.
I have ideas, but
No, I don't like it.
well, I have ideas of who we know that can do that. A couple friends of ours. So,
Yep.
But that wouldn't make for good. No, I don't know.
This is all off the air stuff. Maybe.
No. Whatever. Trailers and videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the superb owl happened.
Or the super bowel.
Yep.
Depending on how you want to say it.
Yep. And with it came a bunch of trailers for movies.
Very expensive ones, apparently.
Yep. Very
what,
expensive
like
one.
30 million per 30
geez.
second, 3 million per 30 seconds, something like that. It's because it's the superb owl.
Yeah. I hate it. I hated that I watched it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
and
I
that's part of the reason why our podcast didn't get
yeah.
recorded.
I know it was a family thing. They had Casey had her family on, and it was this whole big thing.
Then make Casey hang out with her family.
I know.
You can come hang out with
I
me.
got to see the Katy Perry Shark Dance though,
Okay.
right when everybody else saw it.
All right.
And it was awesome.
So let's just go over a couple of those, actually.
Jurassic World.
The biggest one.
Yes.
So Jurassic
cool.
World, we saw the trailer like a month ago, 2 months ago, and it looked good. It looked fun. There were a couple parts and we were like, it's a little weird. What's going on?
So there's one part in particular where you've got Chris Pratt riding on the motorcycle and Raptors with him, and I kept telling you he was training Raptor. He had Raptors trained.
And my argument was, I think that they're all running from something at the same time, and the fact that they run past him or just that they're faster than he is.
Yeah.
However, we find out in this new trailer he has trained these raptors.
He is a Raptor trainer.
That is awesome.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool.
If you know anything about raptors, that's freaking cool because they don't seem
They're
very
clever
trainable.
girls.
They're clever girls. I wonder if he trains them to shoot guns. But they're they talk a little bit more. You get to actually see glimpses of the dinosaur they create.
Indominus Rex is the name of that creature, by
And
the
it
way.
looks freaking cool.
Yep, it looks freaky is what it looks.
Apparently it kills for sport, not just for food.
Yep. And people get carried away by pteranodons. It's awesome.
Pterodactyls?
Pterodons. Yeah. They're called pterodons.
Or pterodactyls, actually.
Or pterodactyls.
But anyways.
It's okay.
Yeah, you get to actually see a girl get picked up by one in the middle of like a screaming crowd.
It's great.
The coolest part, though, is when he says, we're going to go after it with everything we've got. And the next scene, he's riding a motorcycle with a gun strapped to his back.
So apparently everything they got is one guy with a shotgun and 4 raptor pets.
Not a helicopter with rocket launchers on it.
They were shooting it with a helicopter with a machine gun, if you remember in the trailer.
They need rockets then.
The machine gun's not working. Why do we pick this instead of the rockets?
No kidding. But that was great. That was awesome.
Yep.
A couple more that we had from there. There was a new Tomorrowland trailer, and you got to see a little bit more. Keep in mind, these are all like 30-second spots.
Yep.
And most of it, so it's like, I can't talk. It is like 20 seconds of the actual trailer, and then 10 seconds of coming this date on.
Yeah.
You know,
and
that kind
Tomorrowland.
of stuff. Yeah.
But the Tomorrowland trailer looks really cool. You get to see a lot more of the future city and everything.
Apparently, it's a hidden city. It's not just a future city, because at one point, the rocket takes off and appears
over the sky of wherever.
Of like New York or wherever
Chicago.
it's hidden in or something, which is really cool. And I also noticed Hugh Laurie is in it.
Which is awesome. House.
He plays House. And he's also been in a couple comedy shows over on BBC and stuff.
Yeah.
Which that one's really cool.
Kingsman
had a new little trailer. The trailer is they pick a puppy.
Yep, and they train with the puppy.
They train with the puppy, and basically they're supposed to keep track of the puppy, keep it alive. And the whole premise is once the puppy is trained, you'll be trained as well. You know, type of a deal. It takes the same amount of time. And it was just kind of a fun little cute thing to get people to...
be like,
I want to see that.
I see that with the puppies.
And I said, Corey's like, Kingsman, that's weird. And I go, oh, don't worry, Casey will love it. And then as soon as I start playing, she goes, puppies! There was that. There was a new Ted 2.
So let's talk about that, because we actually didn't talk about the original Ted 2 trailer that came out.
That's right.
So the original trailer, like the full-on release trailer came out. It looks super funny. The first Ted, we need to watch that again. In fact, I might recommend that for the movie tonight if we watch a movie.
So Ted, Ted 2. Ted is married.
He's a talking bear, by the way. If you
what's her
haven't-
name? Something.
Tammy Lynn.
Tammy Lynn.
Yep.
And they want to get pregnant, but
They need a donor.
they need a sperm donor, and they go talk to
Mark Wahlberg's
Mark
character.
Wahlberg. Did you notice that Mila Kunis is not in this?
Yeah, I noticed that.
I don't think they'll be together in this one
Interesting.
because they kind of broke up in the last one, and they didn't really get back together that much. It was
That's
more
true.
like
They
they just
kinda
helped
just-
each other say, But anyways, in Ted 2, it's just a lot of funny clips. However, the Super Bowl trailer is really funny. They need a sperm donor,
Yep.
and so they break into Tom
Brady.
Brady, which is a famous football player, break into his house. They
Like,
lift.
you need to say who Tom Brady is.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. All I know him is by name. I don't know.
They
his-
break into his house and
They lift his. They're going to try to get
and
his.
there's a regular Super Bowl trailer that was kind of a little bit cut short.
Yeah.
And then there's the Red Band trailer on YouTube.
Yeah, so they in the Super Bowl one they lift up his sheet
And
and,
it
a
just
big
glows.
a big light
Yeah.
shines out and
Oh, wow.
we're like wow.
Yeah, and
then it cut.
Yeah,
So-
and then in the Red Band one, they're like, "Oh my gosh!" And that's at rest.
and then he wakes up and what the heck you guys doing and throws them both out of the
Yeah.
house.
So he throws Mark Wahlberg out, and then he says, "Take your stupid bear with you," and he throws Ted and like throws him like a football basically. And Mark Wahlberg goes, "That was a perfect spiral." it's hilarious.
It is hilarious. What else did we got? We had
the superb Owl Clash of Clans trailer.
yes. I can't
With
remember this
Liam
one.
Neeson?
Yes.
Where somebody attacks Liam Neeson and he does the whole kind of Taken montage talking.
I don't know who you are.
Big boy 681, but I'm coming at you with barbarians and dragons. It's
if
really
you've
funny.
ever seen the classic Clan stuff, you'll like this one because
Oh, yeah.
all their trailers and their clips are hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even really play the game much anymore, but they're funny.
Yeah.
They do a lot of good work on them.
There was a commercial that came on. It wasn't for anything, and I was sitting there and I'm like, what is this talking about? It's talking about science and then religion, and I'm like, what the heck? And then the last frame comes up, and it says Scientology, a Scientology commercial in the Super Bowl. I busted up laughing. Nobody else was paying attention, so they just turned, or like they just saw me laughing my ass off, and they're like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "Just it's a funny commercial to me." Because who the heck? First of all, don't pay for a $3 million commercial for Scientology.
Yeah. it pretty much got ignored by everyone.
Exactly.
So
I thought it was hilarious, though.
yeah. What else did we have? We had
The Heroes Reborn teaser.
That's right. So Heroes, the TV show from NBC,
Yep.
Back 5 years ago. I
Yeah,
think it started
something
in 2005.
2008.
2008 and ended in 2012.
20, yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. Anyway,
Those 4
we talked
seasons.
about it. We talked about how they're rebooting it and everything, and they're bringing
We
it
actually
back.
got a little bit of teaser, and you see a kid. His power is he creates an aurora,
and controls it and everything, which is kind of a lame superpower.
and then you see Claire, the cheerleader that can heal herself. You see her dad,
Her dad.
which is actually
the man with the horn-rimmed glasses.
He's the Secret Service guy that goes
Yeah.
after all the heroes. And I hope it does good. I really do.
Yeah,
That
I'm
was kind
excited
of
for it.
exciting.
And then let's see, what else did we see? We saw. I think that's it for Superb Owl. Oh, there was a Fast and the Furious 7 trailer,
That's right.
which we didn't
right.
put down on here, but it looks really cool. I don't know. Have you seen it?
I did.
Okay.
Have
Where-
you seen it?
Yeah, where he jumps basically from building to building with a car.
He drives through.
It looks like dumb fun.
Not just a small building, like out of a skyscraper
and lands
into another skyscraper.
Yeah. It's got Jason Statham in it, so
Yeah, and
Everybody
he's
loves-
hunting. He's like hunting them all down. And that one's pretty cool
Yeah.
because that's the last movie you will see
Paul Walker.
in because he filmed a good majority
Yeah,
of
he
it.
filmed like half of it.
A good majority or half of
See,
it
the
before
problem-
he passed away.
The problem is they really can't kill him off in a car crash because that'd be super tacky for them to kill him off in the way that he actually died in real life. That would seem kind of too soon to kill him.
What are they going to do then?
I don't know. Like, I really don't know.
CG a gunshot or something.
I don't know.
He's going to get caught in an explosion. You know that,
probably,
right?
yeah.
That's probably because that's the easiest way to do it. They're on their way out, and boom,
Boom. Yeah.
Where is he? No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Except for it's Vin Diesel, so it's Grrr. I can't do a Vin Diesel voice.
Groot.
Brilliant. Then there was a Terminator Genesis one. One wasn't really good.
You said it didn't.
It didn't
add
really show
anything.
me anything else that I hadn't seen before. It did show him fighting on the Golden Gate Bridge, but that's every movie.
So that's pretty much all that came out during the Super Bowel.
So
Super Bowel movement.
I want to go up to the top of the list.
Which is the after the Super Bowl party is the Super Bowel movement.
The Super Bowel.
Yep.
I want to go back up to the top of this list because it's been 2 weeks, and I totally forgot that we didn't talk about the Fantastic Four trailer.
I know.
We have been talking about this movie and how much we're going to hate
lack
it.
of excitement we have.
Then we watched the trailer,
Yes.
and we are intrigued.
Now, this just could be the fact that they did the trailer well.
Yeah.
Because a lot of movies have done that where you're like, yeah, we're not
Seventh
excited.
Son, for example.
Yeah. We're not excited. We see the trailer. We're really excited. See the movie, and it still sucks.
Yep.
We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen in Fantastic Four. However, the trailer was pretty cool.
I'm really intrigued. I want to see it.
I just want to see the whole thing that sold me. All the stuff that happened, that's fine. But at the halfway point and at the very end, there's a halfway point, and you get to see the Thing breaking out of like a rock cocoon.
Yeah, which is crazy. Which is a great way
Awesome.
to... Yeah.
Then you see him
Standing with the other
four
Three.
in front of some big like tower, or, chasm or something, and he looks amazing.
He looks really good.
Don't get me. I like the way that the Thing looked in the other Fantastic Fours, but you look back at it now and you're like, it's kind of a corny suit.
That whole movie is kind of cheesy.
Right, it's pretty cheesy. But in this new one, he's all CG'd and he really looks like rough rock. It's not smooth or anything.
Yeah, smooth. And I'm a hideous freak,
Which
even though everything's
is
smooth.
different than the comics, because the comics, they say that his rock skin is as hard as rock, but it's actually fairly smooth. It's not like concrete. It's like marble, like smooth marble type of a deal. So the movie's doing a little different, but I think it's cool the fact that he is just this massive rock creature. Do you remember the creature in
Galaxy Quest?
No, well that one's not so much, but the
Never-Ending Story.
No, Thor 2, Dark
2.
World,
Korg,
where he hits the creature that looks like Korg from the comics.
Yeah, the big
rock
yeah.
guy. Kind of reminds me of that.
Yep.
So, and the guy that they got to play, Reed Richards, I've seen him in a couple other things. He was in Divergent, and he was just a jerkbag in Divergent. And he is also in, what else is he in? The remake of the You Can't Dance Because It's Illegal movie.
Footloose. You can't dance because it's a legal movie.
That's what that's the whole premise, is they outlaw dancing. So, and he's there and he's the goofy hick friend, but he looks like a super nerd in this. And you know what? I'm like, that's Reed Richards. Fine. But you don't get to see any Fantastic Four Reed Richards stretching Mr. Fantastic.
Nope.
You get to see just a teeny bit of the Thing. You get to see no Invisible Woman. Did you catch it at all? I did not see her go invisible at all. I think I saw her cast like a force field at one point.
Yeah, I think that's all I saw.
But I didn't see her go invisible. And you get to see the
Johnny.
Human Torch, Johnny Storm,
light up
once. I think maybe twice.
Once, maybe twice.
Yeah, he lights up, and then at one point, I think he's already on fire doing something.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just gives you a little bit of taste. It's coming out in this year, right?
Yep.
So we will see. We will see how well it goes.
will see.
We will see.
All right. Next, Game of Thrones season 5 got its full trailer release.
It is finally.
Oh, so waiting so long.
So
for it. April.
I was talking to a coworker about this, and because he was like, "Man, it's been a long time since Game of Thrones was on." I said, "Well, it's only been a year, but the difference is Game of Thrones only goes for 10 episodes and then stops. It's not like it goes for 10 episodes in the fall and then 10 in the spring.
Yeah, it's not a huge series.
And that's why it feels so long between seasons. I don't even know if I remember the last few episodes of the fourth one.
We might have to go back. I don't know if I want to watch that fight.
I don't want to rewatch them.
You don't want to, not even the last one? just to
maybe the last one just to see where everything ended.
I don't want to rewatch the
Mountain and the Snake.
Yeah, that fight is just like that. Oh, jeez.
Oh, speaking of the Mountain,
So
the guy that plays him,
Okay.
this is going back to news.
Okay.
I just remembered this. The guy that plays the Mountain,
Oh yeah.
he broke a 1,000-year-old Viking weightlifting record.
That. Oh my gosh.
He was able to pick up a 1,000-pound log in his arms and carry it for like 7 steps. The previous record was some Viking guy that did it for like 2 or 3 before he had to drop it.
Wow.
So that shows you, right, that the Mountain.
Why did you
is
even try and
super strong.
challenge the Mountain?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
But it had been, no one had been able to break the record for 1,000 years, and he just did it just last week or something, which awesome. And it shows him as a picture afterwards, and he's kind of doing the whole flex and yell kind of thing. And I'm like, that guy's huge. He is massive, but apparently he's a really nice guy.
Well,
like,
of course.
like in real life, it's funny because he's such a jerk in the.
Yeah, if I were a huge, like, hulking bodybuilder and whatnot, I would be the sweetest guy. I'd be helping old ladies cross the road, and I would just be like,
You mean you would just pick him up and carry him above your head
Uh-huh.
as the cars run into you and they just get crunched?
I would use 2 fingers to hold the door open for a nice lady.
But anyways, season 5, they had their trailer that came out. And you get to see all kinds of crazy stuff that happens. And there's already theories flying around about it.
What's going
There's
on?
a scene where Marjorie Tyrell and
Tommen get married.
Baratheon get married, and he looks just like Joffrey, and it's creepy.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I had to actually pause and go,
Is
that's
that
not Joffrey.
Oh,
Good.
my goodness. He came back as a White Walker.
There's a part where Jorah Mormont is fighting in an arena, and at the moment, for a little bit, I thought it was Jaime Lannister.
Oh, yeah.
But then I was like, he's holding the sword in his right hand. He doesn't
Yeah.
have his right hand anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So, spoiler alert.
Yeah, huge spoilers.
But it's
through
about
that.
time.
Yeah.
It's about time it's back, and that comes out in March. So April. Well, dang it.
Yeah. Actually, it might be March.
I think it's the end of March. It's like 20 something.
iZombie had a new trailer.
Yes. And it looks funny. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks like it could be a fun show.
Despite
what we don't like about the changing of the comic and everything. Looks like it could be
I like
fun.
the fact that they show her not being able to sleep. Like she's just laying in bed just with her eyes open, because you all of a sudden you get turned into a zombie, but you still have your intelligence. The first thing you're going to try to do is go to sleep, and be like, wait, I can't fall asleep. I guess I don't need to.
Yeah, all right then.
So I'm interesting to see. I love how they do movies like that where they don't sleep and you get to see their nightlife basically. Where they just pretty much like wander around the city and go to the convenience store.
Honestly, so if I had to choose between not ever sleeping again and not ever eating again, I'd probably pick never sleeping again.
Well, yeah, definitely.
'Cause-
One, you could get another job, or 2, you could actually catch up on all this geek stuff. That,
Yep,
that we
exactly.
miss.
Yeah, I could podcast all night.
No
You're
kidding.
listening to the 12th hour of Cory Avis Radio Talk Show.
I would want to do a night job. I would want to find a night job that paid really well and do that because, 1, they're usually fairly easy.
Yeah.
Like night guard and stuff like that.
Yep.
But 2, then during the day,
You're free.
you're free to do whatever.
Everybody else goes to bed at 9 and you go to work.
Yep.
Who goes to bed at 9?
But I'm excited for iZombie. You guys may not be you don't seem as excited, but I'm like, I'm curious to
watch
see
it.
this. So yeah.
We had the trailer come out for the Poltergeist reboot,
Yep.
which we both watched, and it looks even scarier than the original Poltergeist, which was not that scary.
Never seen the original.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not.
But
yeah.
I like I've talked before, I'm not a horror fan.
No.
However, I saw this and I was like, okay,
watch it.
I kind of want to watch
not
this.
just because Sam Rockwell.
Well, that kind of sold it for me,
Yeah.
actually. I was
The
like,
shot at the end actually sold it for you, where the little girl's like, "Mommy," and then she gets picked up and drug up the stairs.
Yeah.
but it's like super funny.
it's kind of goofy looking. Picked up by something invisible, we don't know. And all of a sudden she's like, up the stairs. That one looked kind of funny.
Yep.
Now, I think the biggest one on this list so far, Daredevil.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Jurassic World Lego trailer.
No.
Okay. Well, that was funny too.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Daredevil came out.
I'm so excited.
Now,
I watched this like 3
the
times.
show
in a
didn't come
row.
out. The show didn't come out, but the
No.
trailer got released. the show's coming out on the 10th of
April.
And good on Netflix for being super smart, because guess what the 10th is? It's a Friday, which means most of the people that watch Daredevil or are really excited for it are going to binge watch this all weekend long.
Including us.
We're going to have to probably cancel game night.
Yep. I think so.
For a Daredevil.
We're probably going to have to cancel family night.
Maybe.
No, we're canceling family night.
Maybe. I got to work. I got to work anyways on Saturday, so.
Well, I'm watching it without you then.
No, you're not. I will shut the internet down and lock it out. But it came out, and oh my gosh, it got me excited for this thing. Wow.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Now, this is just season 1.
Yeah.
Obviously.
All 13 episodes.
Yep. The guy that got to play Matt Murdock,
Charlie
Daredevil,
Cox.
looks good.
Looks great.
There was one criticism. He really doesn't look blind.
Yeah, I don't think he looks blind at all.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
We only saw a few clips.
You get to see the back of Kingpin.
He's staring at some picture painting or something. Who is it again?
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yes. Which I'm not sure.
And it's got one of your favorite actresses in it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, she's not my favorite, but Jessica Ann Wool. She plays Jessica on True Blood.
Okay.
Is it Jessica Ann Wool or Mary Ann Wool? Anyways,
I don't know.
The redheaded vampire.
The redheaded new vampire.
She's gorgeous, and she's actually a great actress.
Yeah.
She plays. I love her transformation in True Blood from sweet little innocent country girl Christian girl gets turned into a vampire and becomes this like super partier, drinking and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But she does it perfectly, and she plays in it. She in the comics, her character is actually like the secretary.
Comics or books?
No, Daredevil.
Oh, Daredevil.
In the Daredevil comics.
I thought you were talking about the True Blood comics.
Yeah, no.
I was like, why are you reading True Blood comics?
In the Daredevil comics, she plays his like secretary or paralegal.
Something like that.
Or secretary legal.
It's a woman in Matt Murdock's life, so she gonna die.
She's probably gonna die. He has Batman curse.
Yep.
He's the Batman.
He's worse than Batman. Okay. He actually is the first Batman analog of like Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the trailer came out, and it looks amazing. I'm so excited.
Yep.
So we'll have to... Maybe we'll do, instead of game night, everyone can come over, and we can have a Daredevil marathon.
Can we just make it personal? Do we
All
have
right,
to invite
all right.
a bunch of people?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe now. No one listens to our podcast, so they'll never hear.
Our podcast.
So that was all of our news for... like TV shows and movies that came out.
One video game trailer,
Yes.
the Jurassic World Lego one, which is just a fun little clip.
It's got the glass full of water, and the T-Rex stomps, and it vibrates.
Yeah.
You see the ripples in the water,
And then
pretty soon it crushes the glass.
and then it's a Lego T-Rex, and he roars, and his bottom jaw falls off.
Yep.
And then
so he
tries
stops
to fix it
mid-roar.
back up.
So it's encompassing all 4 Jurassic movies. So Jurassic Park,
Jurassic
Park 2, Jurassic Park 3,
Yeah,
and then Jurassic World. So that means that Lego already knows what's going to happen in the movie.
Lucky Lego.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know who else could know Lego? Acts of Geekery podcast.
Yeah.
Send it our way.
Yeah. and then we had a couple user-made stuff. One of them is a fan-made trailer for Captain America.
America. Let me
I don't
edit
know why
that.
we typed the W in there, but okay. Captain America Civil War. And they cut together a bunch of clips from Avengers and Captain America and Iron Man and stuff. And you know what? It was really good.
It
Usually
worked really well.
We're usually not very big fans of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But this one was done very well. And we'll post a link to that as well a little later this week.
Yep.
On that.
Then we had one that was the Millennium Falcon as a quadcopter.
Someone took a quadcopter and
which
built...
is a remote control airplane or helicopter type thing that has 4 propellers.
Yeah, and they're very stable. They can hover. I don't know. It's just really cool. Post a link to that as well. It's got lights all over it, and he flies around kind of in the dark, and it's pretty cool. The last thing that we saw, and this is just more pure geek, less like geek fandoms.
Yeah.
There was a guy made a video of what it would be like to ride on a photon, which is a unit of light from starting at the sun all the way out to the end of the solar system. And it kind of shows you what it would be like to be flying at light speed, which, you think light speed, theoretical limit, we can't break it.
Yeah.
You can't go faster than light.
It is speed limit.
Yeah, nothing in the universe can go faster than light. At least nothing we've found so far. And you think, wow, that's really fast. But you see this video, and the video starts out, it's 45 minutes long. It starts out, it takes 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes to get to Mercury.
And Mercury zips past right after
Zips
that.
right past. It takes another 3 minutes to get to Venus. Zips right past. Another 2 minutes to get to Earth. And Earth zips right past. And another 5 to get to Mars. And pretty soon, it gets, after 45 minutes of watching this, it's really cool. It's got nice music, and it's really well done graphically. And it has, your speed, your distance, what the next object you're going to pass coming up. It actually reaches Jupiter and stops at 45 minutes. So if you know anything about the solar system, you still have Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
Wow.
You've got Pluto out even way further than anything out, and then you've got the Oort cloud, or the Kuiper belt, which is like the asteroid belt even further, and then the Oort cloud. I mean, so
I didn't know that it stopped at Jupiter.
It just stops at Jupiter, and that takes 45 minutes. It's just really cool, really fun. I enjoyed it. I'm super geeky with that kind of space stuff. So
traveling at near light speed,
not as cool as you think it is.
Yeah. You could
fast.
You could reach Mars in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah.
If you want to, traveling through the solar system at light speed's great.
Yeah.
Because even if it took you a couple days to get out to, like the Kuiper belt, which is basically the asteroid belt but further out past Jupiter or past Pluto.
It'd still take you a long time to get anywhere in the galaxy.
Yeah, our closest star is 4.7 light years away. So traveling at light speed, it'll take you 4.7 years to get there. So it's kind of an interesting show. Shows you the actual scale of how large. I mean, if you think about it, you could fit 10 or 100 suns between the sun and Earth. How far out the Earth is, and the sun is huge. It's like 93 million miles in diameter. So, considering the Earth is 12,000 miles, it's just kind of an interesting take on it. But it's fun. We'll post a link to that.
This is just a reminder about how small you really are.
A lot of people don't like learning about space because of that, because they're like, it makes me feel so small and insignificant, and that's not the scary part. The scary part is how little the universe cares about you.
Yeah, how easily you can be snuffed out.
Yes, I mean, gamma ray bursts, huge asteroids and comets hit the planet. Climate change.
Well, no, we have a dolphin to thank for the asteroids not hitting the planet.
According to Spongebob.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, we have a giant vacuum cleaner called Jupiter with massive gravity that one of the prevailing theories about how life was able to take hold on Earth and not just get snuffed out by comets and asteroids after one after another, get pummeled, is because of Jupiter. As they come flying in from outside the solar system, Jupiter sucks them in and gobbles them up, basically.
Can somebody please design me a t-shirt that has Jupiter with a sword and a shield saying, "I'll tank it."
All right.
Jupiter's the tank.
So lots of trailers, lots of videos. Yep. We'll post links to them a little later this week, so look out for that on our Facebook page.
Yep. Until then, let's go ahead and get into our picks of the week.
Olympus would be that way.
I forgot that James Woods was Hades in that movie.
Didn't you?
And that's awesome. I love that's one of my favorite Disney animated Hercules.
That's my top one.
Megara, whatever. She's one of my favorite of the Disney quote princesses. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
But it's our picks of the week.
It is.
It's time to tell you what we've been kind of geeking out about.
Or really geeking out about, depending on what it is.
Yeah. Scott, why don't you go ahead and you can go first.
I think you should go first. I got a lot to say about mine.
Actually, yeah, you do, and mine's kind of weak.
Kind of weak this week.
So the problem is real life gets in the way of geekdom.
That's true.
So I've been geeking out about all the usual things, but one thing that I wanted to talk about, and I know I was going to do one thing, but I think I'm going to do another.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about the Wii U amiibos.
Yeah.
So if you've heard this podcast, you know that we like Disney Infinity.
Yes.
At least the figures. We haven't played the game yet, although we want to. Where you can get Disney characters, small little figures. You buy them for like $14, and
They're about 3 to 4 inches tall.
Yeah.
So they're not teeny tiny, but they're a decent size.
we've got the superhero ones mostly. You've got an Elsa. You've got Groot. You've got,
I've got Hulk, and I've got Baymax in his armor. So.
I have Hulk and Iron Fist. I got
Mm-hmm.
this week, which Iron Fist is really cool looking.
Oh yeah, I was very surprised at that one actually. I really want to pick up like Nova. Oh,
You got to pick
so
up
cool.
the Venom one. I almost picked up the Venom one the other
Yeah.
day, but I wanted to talk about the Nintendo version of it called Amiibo. Wii U has a little device on it that you put these little statues on, and they're of Nintendo characters.
Yeah, a little chip reader.
And they're mostly for Super Smash Bros. Wii U. They were developed for that game. You put it on there. It downloads a computer that you train yourself, and you boost its attack or defense or speed or whatever.
Yeah, it's like
you
a little
customize
buddy.
it. It's a little buddy that you can fight. You can have fight on your team and everything. You can name them whatever you want.
You've got a couple.
I've got the Kirby one, which is I just love Kirby so much. He's
Of
already got
course.
dog teeth marks on him, so you know he's mine. And I just barely went out, and I was out at Toys R Us the other day, and I saw the list of them. They've got Link, they've got Zelda, they've got Sheik, they've got Samus, they've got Mario.
I really want a Samus one.
Oh, there were only a couple Samus ones.
I want a
almost
Zero
picked
Suit
one.
Samus,
Oh yeah,
actually.
that would be great. And, they've had a few that have sold out, and they're not bringing back like Marth. Although I think they said they might do a second series of Marth, but they had a Bowser, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to pick up a Bowser.
Yeah.
because he looks really cool.
and it looks awesome.
You use them mainly for Super Smash Bros. Wii U, but they have little bonuses for other games like Mario Kart. For 8, you get suits for your Miis if you want to play with your Mii characters. It's really fun. I love them, and they're cool little figurines, just like the Disney Infinity.
Yeah.
Put them up on your shelf.
You don't even have to use them. Just even
Yeah.
if you just want to collect them, they're about $15 a pop.
And they look like the trophies from Super Smash Brothers.
Yes.
They've got the trophy base and everything like that. So that makes them incredibly cool too, because
Also,
you're like, yeah.
Captain Falcon.
Oh yeah, Captain Falcon one would be great.
Yes.
So that's my pick of the week.
That is awesome pick of the week. And mine is sort of similar. It's also a collectible, but it's a Star Trek collectible, or a set of collectibles, I should say.
So you're talking like posters or coasters or
Ships,
shirts?
ship models.
Nice.
And
Like big ones?
no, they're about 4 to 5 inches, sometimes a little bigger. So I found this collection online. It's called the official Starships collection of Star Trek, and it is from a company called Eagle Moss. And so you can go to eaglemoss.com and you can find it out. You can find it there.
European country, right? Or company.
The company is European, yes. They do have a U.S. version now. It's because there was so much demand here in the U.S. for that kind of stuff. It is a monthly subscription service. And you know I like monthly subscription services like Nerd Block and Loot Crate and the Funko one.
Funko Pop Me or
It's
Funk Me. We're calling it Funk Me.
Funk Me. The Funk Soul Brother.
Funk Soul Brother. Yeah. Pop
But
Me.
it's Pop in a Box.
Pop in a Box.
Is what it is. And that one, unfortunately, is not in the U.S. or else I would have it. It's only in the U.K.
Yeah.
But it is a monthly subscription service where you sign up and you pay an amount every month, and they send you a ship every month. Well, they actually send you 2, which is pretty cool.
They send you a scale model.
They send you a scale model of a ship.
They send you 2 every month? Oh, yeah.
They send you 2.
One every couple weeks.
Yep.
So you're due for another
It's
one, aren't
fortnightly. I'm actually due for 2. They,
okay.
they send them at the same time. It's not like they send one every 2 weeks.
Oh,
They
okay.
send them at the same time. They send 2 at a time. And not only you get a ship with a base, and in this case, I signed up, and the very first one you get is the
Enterprise
USS
D.
Enterprise D, which is from the Next Generation series.
Yeah.
You get the ship which is very highly detailed. It is, some of them are made out of, most of them are die-cast metal.
Yeah.
Some are half die-cast metal and half plastic, depending on what it is. In this case, the Enterprise D, the saucer section is die-cast metal, and the lower engineering section,
and the
engineering hull, and the cells and
the
stuff.
battle section.
That is all, I think it's a vinyl material. So it's flexible. It's not going to break on you just by grabbing it.
Yeah.
Very, very detailed. I mean, I was very surprised with the detail on it. I mean, everything from every little window, half of them are lit up, to all the little escape pods.
Yeah, the individual escape pods. They don't pop off, people. Don't worry.
No, they don't pop off. And this one actually doesn't separate like the ship does in a show.
Yeah.
But that to me is not a big deal. I don't really like models of those because it always ends up the saucer section falls off all the time. But they send it to you. They send a little base that it clips onto. It doesn't have any holes in the ship. This is one thing that I thought was really cool. A lot of models and a lot of stuff like that, if they have a base, they've either got like pegs out of their feet if they're a humanoid character, or if they're a ship, they've got a hole in
the
actual,
bottom
not a hole, not HULL and HOLE hole, where a peg sticks into to hold them up. Well, this one does not. This one's got a uniquely designed. Every ship's got
like
their own
tuning for
clip system.
yeah.
You know, it's clear plastic that kind of clips and holds on. This one, in case, holds the bottom part of the ship, and then two little finger things hold onto the saucer section. And so you have no holes in the ship anywhere. It is perfectly it's a perfect replica of the model.
So cool looking, actually.
Super cool. Fortnightly, one of the coolest things about it, though, is not only do you get the ship, you get a little booklet about that ship. So you might get ships that you don't really know in Star Trek, but you're like, I've seen that on screen. That's kind of cool. Like, I know what a bird of prey is from Klingon, but I don't know anything about them. I don't know when they were manufactured in the
Mythos
Klingon mythos, and I don't know any of their armaments. I don't know how fast they are. You know, and you might if you're really into Star Trek, but this gives you a booklet that gives you brief history of both in the universe history and out of the universe history.
It gives you design
how they made
specifications.
Yeah, how they made them. Did they use a studio model? Was it all CG? And so far, they have like 90 issues planned. They've done 50 so far.
So you're only going to get 40, or
no? I'm actually going to get all of them
because you get backlog.
Yes, when you sign up, they actually send them to you from issue 1. It's not like you had to have signed up a year and a half ago, which is fantastic.
Because I'm kind of sick of this whole sign up now or you're going to miss out on everything, you know?
No, I signed up and they sent me issue number 1. And so the next one, they're supposed to send me issue 2 and 3. And occasionally they'll send you like a future issue, not a future issue, but a newer issue because they're out of stock in old and they're waiting for them to come in.
Yeah.
So you're getting those. You get every like 10th issue, they have a special edition one that comes out.
Oh, nice.
Everything from a light up Borg cube that's about a foot cubed.
Wow.
And it has batteries and it lights up green on the inside. It was really cool. They have
plaques about the
They've got like the Enterprise D inauguration plaque, which actually, if you see it on the Enterprise bridge, it has all the different writers and directors written into it. They'll send you a replica of one of those. All kinds of cool stuff like that is sent. And that's what I've been geeking out about.
That's a great pick of the week. Much better than stupid amiibos.
No, it's fine. They're both awesome. I want to make a video blog about them. Once I get a couple, when I get 2 or 3, I'll make a video blog and I'll kind of go over them a little bit in more detail and stuff. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah,
we'll
awesome.
bring that up. And Cory might do one about his amiibos.
Yeah.
Some Disney Infinity figures.
Sure.
You never know. He might have to go buy a bunch. Yeah.
Yay, spending money.
Yay.
All right.
Yeah.
Whew. Great long episode, Scott.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for the Acts of Geekery podcast.
Yep.
But there's always more to come. And if you want to be part of it, all you have to do is go to facebook.com/Acts of Geekery and give us a like, send us a comment, or just, share us with a friend.
Yes, please do. You can also check out all of our podcasts. They're up on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com and you search for Acts of Geekery, you find our page.
Let it run for 5 seconds so it can see that you viewed it, and then you shut it off. That's fine with us.
That's fine with us, as long as we get a view.
You can also go to Twitter Super easy there. At Acts of Geekery is our handle, or the hashtag Acts of Geekery if you want to get a hold of us.
We'll be able to find it. You can also email us. Our email address is actsofgeekery@gmail.com.
Probably the best way to get a hold of us, I
Yeah.
would say, if you want to ask a question or if you got your own pick of the week.
Or if you have a comment, or if you want to tell us, that we stink or something. I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes
absolutely.
we need a shower,
Tell
and
us
you guys
how
can let us
bad
know.
we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so bad.
I can't wait till we get our first
Hate mail?
Hate mail. Then I can read it on the podcast.
Yay.
It'll be great. And last but not least, of course, you can find us on iTunes. You can go and subscribe to Acts of Geekery and get all of our podcasts as we upload them.
Yep.
You'll get notified right away through the RSS
And-
feed.
And review us there. Give us a 5-star review if you like us. Don't give us a review if you don't like us.
Or not. It's fine. Either way.
Yeah.
Either way.
Just we like you, and we want you to like us.
Yeah.
Like
and
you.
those are all ACTS.
Not
I can't ever say that.
ACTS,
Yes.
not AXE.
Yes.
I'll take over for you there.
There you go.
Well, that's it, Scott.
Yep.
Next week, all new news, all new trailers and videos.
And maybe a new review.
Yeah.
Depends on what comes out.
I think we do have something coming next
Okay.
week.
All right.
So, but until then, I'm Cory,
And I'm Scott.
and we're the Brothers Geek.
Keep geeking out.
See ya.
What do you get when you cross microphones and geeks? Acts of Geekery podcast. Ha! Is funny Russian joke.